Hello, listeners. Hello. Check in Africa Cup of Nations live AFCON Daily Show, day one. Let me know if you can hear me okay, if anyone's seeing this. And apologies for my setup. I'm trying to do this with Nigerian internet for the first time. So, Ekolawa. So, bear with me with the internet, but I'm hoping that everything will be stable and there'll be no issues. But welcome. Thanks for coming in. I know for AFCON, rather than doing live streams only when Nigeria's playing games, we might as well have interactive sessions talking about the Super Eagles and our national team. I mean, as people are joining, I don't even know if I should start already or give it 5 minutes for people to join. But man, Morocco. Talk about statement performance, guys. Statement performance. They said, welcome to our country. We're here. I thought they were absolutely fantastic. Guys, just confirm for me if you can hear me okay. There's no issues with the sound. If it's breaking a little bit, I apologize. We're not using our strong internet from where we're coming from. But nevertheless, I think we could still bring you very, very good and accurate content. So first of all, usual housekeeping, you guys know me. I have to first start with gratitude. Thanks again for everything, guys. On the road to 10,000 subscribers now, somehow. Just fantastic and beautiful to see. The support, allowing me to go on Sporty TV recently, even here in Nigeria, and just talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria has been fantastic and fascinating for myself as well. And, I'm so happy to be in Lagos because when you're in London and you're talking about AFCON, they almost make you feel like you're disturbing the peace of Europeans and like you're annoying because you want to talk about AFCON. But then all of a sudden, you come to Lagos, you go on Super Sports, everywhere AFCON is all over the channels, everywhere. Literally highlights of past AFCONs, proper coverage, punditry and everything. So it's just amazing to see and that vibe of AFCON, man, So I can say I'm definitely feeling it. I don't know about you guys. So welcome to the first daily show of the AFCON. Today, we're going to be going through and just reviewing the Morocco versus Comoros game. So the idea for the live AFCON daily shows is fairly simple. And you guys know me, I like to listen to what the supporters and the community people have to say. What you guys input is what I'll provide. There's no point bringing information that you guys don't want to listen to or does not make any sense to you. So the idea around the AFCON daily show for this tournament is, where possible, which will be most days, I have to apologize because I'm trying my best to still dirty December, but we'll be available most of the time. We want to review the AFCON games that will be played on most days. I'll do my best to watch every single AFCON game because I love AFCON, you guys know, And then, rather than talking about Starboy of the Week like we do with the Nigeria podcast, we will talk about the African Giant of the Day. So the whole idea about the African Giant of the Day is, we want to include the rest of Africa and make them feel involved. We know this community is primarily Nigerian, but we have a lot of other African community members who like to watch the content and also, just like to engage with Nigerians and talk about football and AFCON. So we'll do an African Giant of the Day. So like today now, you see that Comoros goalkeeper, Omo, fantastic. And then any interesting things to talk about from AFCON, I'll also be surfacing that. And then I'll always do a fixture preview of the games coming the next day. Nothing too long, just talking about the predictions I have and who I think will win the game. And then where you then come in, community, this is where I need you guys. I know some people have always wanted to join along and give their comments on the chat, but I want everybody to be able to, join. And if you feel comfortable being on camera, you can also join. I'll put a live stream link very soon, and you can come on the live stream and also give me your opinion on how you thought the game went and how it feels. So I hope that makes sense, and that's the idea behind this channel. So thanks to everybody that's already joined the chat, all 38 of you. I know Nigeria is not playing, and it's quite last minute notice, but I still appreciate it all, and I really wanted to make it more interactive and live stream rather than recording. I'll still do normal recordings for previews and reviews for Nigeria games, of course, but when I can live stream as much as possible, I'll do my best. So that's the idea behind this. So as usual, before I even get into my content, Let me just acknowledge the community members that have already put in comments. Shout out to you, Stan Khan NG. I know you're always supporting. I appreciate it so much. Always, I do not take it for granted. He said, good showing from Comoros. They really tried. Also, lovely goal from Ekabi. Maybe the GOTM has already been scored or more. We'll get to that Ekabi goal, but my God, if you're a Moroccan, I feel like the day has just gone perfectly well for you. Like, what do you mean you scored a potential goal of the tournament on the first day of the tournament? Like, honestly, I can never be jealous of any other country because I love being Nigerian in my life. But just imagine those Moroccans right now. And then that camera now panning to that Moroccan fan that was at the 2022 World Cup. I don't know if you guys noticed on TV. They kept showing his face. The guy was living in dreamland right now, honestly. So, I mean, Stan, you know the thing about AFCON is we'll probably still see goals better than that. But I must say that for an opening game to have a goal that good, nah, that was amazing to see. Like, we have to doff our hat to him. Like, that was just fantastic. Timia Deniji, thanks always for joining. Thanks for confirming that we're good. I appreciate that. H_B. We're loyal. Thanks for always supporting. Prime example of your big players bailing you out. I love that comment. We're going to get into it because I have a feeling that this AFCON is where we're really going to see. You know how AFCON always AFCONs, guys, but there's a time when if your team is the best on paper and you have quality, I think there are certain conditions that make it easier for you to see that come through. Morocco, there's no excuse about the pitch, the stadium, the facilities. Everybody has good training facilities. Everybody's sleeping in a good hotel. Everybody has the right resources they need to execute. So I think that in terms of quality, we may be gearing up for the best ever AFCON quality-wise on the pitch. You know, even when we look at the pitch today and in our range, so the zip on the ball and everything. So that makes me think, that we're really going to see big players really stand out in this AFCON. I hope I'm right because in my opinion, Nigeria, we get the biggest. Yes, Salah is the biggest based on his name and what he did last season. But right now, if they say, which striker or attacker would you not want to face at AFCON? If anybody says anybody first before Osimhen, they are lying to you. You know, we all know that Congo, their World Cup is because Osimhen played 45 minutes. So I think that's an interesting angle to just see. And I think big players. In fact, that comment is what makes me very, very confident in what Osimhen is going to be able to do for us, to be honest. And I think we're going to get to be able to do this fantastically well. So let's see. At TD Motions 101 says, Omo Olu, you see this stadium? Jesus, I thought they were playing in the World Cup. Kudos to Morocco. My brother, look, that's why I said, facilities-wise and setting up-wise, I think this is already going to be the best AFCON. Like, we know Morocco are hosting the World Cup in literally 4.5 years. So they're going to pull out all the stops. They've literally not hosted an AFCON in how many years? Since 1988. So you can tell that they're just excited to put on a party for everybody. Even the fan zones, everything is ready. Nobody can complain about, oh, there's any half-baked preparation or the pitch is bubbly. You can see the Moroccans, they've covered every angle. So shout out to them, honestly. And they're going for that World Cup. See that Prince Moulay Hassan Stadium? They're going to use that stadium for the 2030 World Cup. So you know Morocco are not playing. And look how they're already. What I even liked about Morocco today is them playing with confidence, even with the pressure. You know, you can easily like will tire, like the nerves will get the best of you, but it's as if the Moroccans were playing like they're excited for the opportunity. By the way, sorry about my voice. I have to be honest. I went to go and rock off yesterday. No mind me. I was singing Whiskey Money Constant too much. So anything with my voice, that's my problem. But I've been drinking honey, I promise, because we have work to do. So thanks for that comment. Patrick Okafo, I salute you. Hey Olu, did I miss any memorable moments of the opening game? I'm going to go through the opening game right now, and I just want to acknowledge all the comments because without you guys, there's no point doing any of this. So I will get to it, my brother. If you not watch the match, Patrick, come on, you missed too. I will not lie to you because the Moroccans, I don't know if you've seen those Chukwueze videos from Fulham FC where he's talking about how he's cooking, but I will lie to you, that was a game and a half, man. Like, the Moroccans are cooking, bro. Like, they're playing well in every way, shape, or possible. Like, they're just showing us that, look, we did not come here to play. So I thought that was a really, really good showing from the hosts starting the tournament. Other comments just quickly touch on. By the way, guys, please let me know if there's any issues with the settings. Please tell me. I want to be sure about the internet, and I'm trying to sort out like 3, 4, 5 backup issues. You know, the things you don't have to think about in London. So I have to just make sure that everything's working smoothly and there's no hiccups. So please let me know if there's anything. H also said, good fight from Comoros, but class told in the end. Perfectly said, my brother. Like, I think Morocco, my prediction for this game was even 2-0, to be honest. So I don't want to toot my own horn. But I had a feeling, because when it comes to opening games, you don't really score too much. Like, you don't really see teams scoring up to 3 goals in the opening match. But I knew that Morocco's talent would definitely come through. And I was even sure. You can even watch my predictions video. I had a feeling it would be 2-0, and I'm very, very glad I got it right. Maybe I should have even put a little wager, but betting is not really my thing. I like to play FPL, you know, here and there. So, yeah, good effort from Comoros. I thought they had opportunities to even, you know, exploit Morocco. Remember that chance that they missed as well. We'll get into it, man. But, man, AFCON is here, and boy, is this so exciting, man. To be able to watch it in Lagos, oh, my God, I'm so excited. EVT Vibes S2 says, why didn't you go to the stadium? My brother, because of you guys, we're getting big, but we're not yet so big yet that, you know, I could maybe go for all the games at AFCON. Like I said, I'm going to try and go for the round of 16 game and the quarterfinal game. Who knows, if I'm able to still get a press pass, maybe I'll be able to go to the semi-final and the final. But I'm definitely going to go to a round of 16 game and quarterfinal, assuming Nigeria do the needful. We cannot assume. But group stage, because I was already coming to Nigeria to enjoy myself, see my family as well, I thought it would be nice to still be able to do live streams and do content from Lagos. And I was kind of looking forward to watching the AFCON in Nigeria. I've not watched a single AFCON match Nigeria has played in Nigeria since 2008, where we lost in the quarterfinals. You know, so just being able to be home. I went to secondary school in Nigeria, Faith Academy, so I know the passion we used to have in our blood when Nigeria is playing AFCON. We'll now be scaling one window because some teachers are not allowing you to watch the match, to watch Osaze score against Cameroon when I was in GS1, you know, so on and so forth. So I like the idea of being able to be here while I'm watching the AFCON, see the vibes. Obviously, Nigerians are very despondent right now, but look, Nigerians like success. If we ginger now and pace these Tanzania guys like 3, everybody will ginger again. Oh. By the way, watch out for the preview video for Nigeria versus Tanzania. You guys know we always do our research and we try to bring as much quality content to for your listening pleasure. So that's coming tomorrow. I'll be recording it after this live stream. I wanted to first watch the first game just to get the vibes of Morocco, but we're prime and loaded for that content, so look out for that. So Patrick, EVT Vibes. By God's grace, man, the more the community supports and the more you guys make us hard to ignore, maybe we'll get a sponsor that will now say, you know, let's get your press pass, we'll carry it to Morocco. Yes, I don't want to be a hypocrite. It's easier to get to Morocco from London than Lagos because of how frequent the flights are. But I couldn't make all 3 games go. But I will be in Morocco. I have my flights booked literally to go for the round of 16. But is pertinent on Nigeria finishing first, because I went to go and book. I booked accommodation for either scenario, but my flight is assuming we come first. So please make Unami beg Super Eagles, please. Let them not mess up, please. Let us deliver, and then we'll figure out the rest. But I will go for the round of 16 as well as the quarterfinals. I can see Samuel's comment as well. He said, "You know, go Morocco, my brother. Don't worry. By God's grace, I'll be there." At Afriyu1 says, Okoye, don't make mistake today. NFF can see visual. Bro, I was going to touch on this. I'm going to talk on it, and it is so funny. Like, let me not give it away, but it's a very, very funny story around Tomato Okoye today, I have to say. Like, in fact, if you don't laugh at him, like, you'll cry because it is so funny. Like, like, it is, no, we'll get into Maduka, don't worry, I promise you, we'll get to Maduka. Who else has commented? At Ige Adekule 2981 says, Okoye Gorek, don't give away the scopes, my brother. Don't give away the scopes. I'm about to get into it, guys. Adeola too, don't give away the scopes. I think it's so funny, man. Anyway, we'll get into it, guys. We'll get into it. Shout out to everybody, man. Kelvin Marvel 8350 said, if Morocco play a good team, they will fall. Morocco is too overhyped. I will speak on that a little bit. I don't think they're overhyped, and I think they play as a team, but the way their defense was shaky, and I saw Comoros being able to get through those lines, it tells me that it's never going to be as easy as people think. And we know it's AFCON. AFCON is never as easy as people make it seem like it is. You still face problems at some point. I feel like when the Moroccans play Mali, that's when we'll get an idea of like, okay, let's see what the Malians can do. Because for the kind of opportunities I saw Comoros have at certain points of that game, you have to say that romanticized injury was bad. Aguero was very lucky not to even get a yellow card in the first 5 minutes when he pulled that guy down. So I hear what you're saying about that, but it's AFCON. AFCON is gonna AFCON, my brother. So thank you for that comment. At Visible31 says, how can we watch the AFCON live matches? In Nigeria, I'm watching it on Super Sports. I know it's on Super Sports. I need to double check if it's on NTA or AIT. I'm not sure, and that's probably bad on my part. I should go and do my research to be sure. But I know for a fact that it's on DSTV, Sha. At least that one is clear. And they're going all out to the advertising. It's even nice to see Daniel Akpeyi doing the commentary, the punditry on the games alongside Salomon Kalou and that South African presenter. He's been on DSTV since I was a child. I was thinking to myself, this guy is good. He kept his job like 20 plus years, right? I've forgotten his name, but if anyone knows it, please let me know. FT Vibe says, I have the visa. If you pay for me, I will go. My brother. I feel you, my brother. Don't worry, I'm gonna go. This is where, like, even though people know me, I don't like watching England win. That's where sometimes you have certain benefits, when it comes to visas and stuff like that. So, Ekpele, my friend. Taiwo Okunade says, hello from Dublin. Watching the opening ceremony, the stadium and the match. I love Nigeria, but I feel sad that we cannot measure up to Morocco's standards, not in 50 years' time. Shout out to you, Mr. Taiwo. I'm also a Taiwo, by the way. I'm a twino. My first name is Taiwo and Olu. So sometimes when I do live stream, it's my twin brother that joins. So Ibeji gang. But lovely to see you tuning from Dublin. I've heard there's a massive Nigerian expat population. Why is it that Zoibo that call themselves immigrants and us we're expats? We're all expats too in Dublin. And yeah, love to hear it, man. I hope you enjoyed the match. And I know what you mean about our lack of progress in development. I'll say watch my video when I spoke about Ibrahim Gusau talking, because he was talking about how like a lot of things are in the hands of the states and you can't really do too much. But there's also a world where, if I'm being honest, like we need to think out of the box and make things move. Even if you cannot make things happen with the states, like Nigeria is too big of a footballing nation to not have one good stadium in Lagos. It's a disgrace. And to hear the NFF president be talking about things like that without making the moves to change it. Although he said in the next year he's expecting some progress. So let's see. But this one we saw from Morocco is a different level. I can't lie. It's a different level, guys. Different level. Different level. So I get what you're saying, but let's hope that part where he said not in 50 years' time will not be true. We'll see better. So I appreciate you. Shout out to the rest of the guys. Any other comments I have not mentioned? Why Millie? Thanks for always supporting. She said, leave Okoye. Okoye is my guy. You people know me. I like Okoye. It happens sometimes, always. He didn't make a mistake. Stan Khan said he didn't make a mistake. It's just a bad day. Like, let's be honest. Like, it is what it is. Adeola, that's funny. Maduka Okoye's ancestors called him. That is funny. I always tell people, back all our players. Like, it is what it is. Why Millie said Comoros play well in my opinion. I'll get into it. Elias from Somalia, thanks for always supporting the channel. I appreciate you. Always a pleasure of seeing you here. I will be keen to even know what your thoughts are regarding the potential introduction of the African Nations League, because I really think that the smaller teams in Africa could benefit the most from that. Somalia don't need to be playing Nigeria. Somalia needs to be playing Seychelles. They need to be playing people on their level, so that everybody can get used to winning games and getting motivated and play people on their level and then benefiting. So it'll be great to hear what your thoughts are on that one. Why me? Thanks for answering. In the UK, it's on channel 4, which I'm really excited about. So it's on free-to-air TV. Everybody can watch the AFCON if you're in the UK. Why Millie said, I feel like Comoros has big potential, bro. It's clear. Look at what they did in their first and only AFCON until this time in 2021, where they knocked Ghana out. Comoros, they're not small, though. I really like their vibe, to be honest. And I thought they gave it a very, very good shot, considering they were playing a much more talented side, you know. So fair play to Comoros for their efforts in this game. I thought they did pretty well. FUT Vibes S2 says, you have never told us the club you support. Guys, that's not true. Everybody and anybody on this channel knows I'm an Arsenal fan. In fact, very, very shameless, loud and proud Arsenal fan. I've been watching Arsenal since the year 2000 when we lost the UEFA Cup final, and I'm still living off the juice that Thierry Henry gave me for the first 7 years of me watching Arsenal. So when we won the Premier League and we used to go into teams and like, as long as Henry's on the pitch, you're just happy. So bro, I always let everybody know my team. I'm a very proud Arsenal fan. In fact, all those stereotypes say about Arsenal fans that we're allowed, we love our club too much, we shout too much. You're right. That is exactly how I am about Arsenal. But right now, it's all about AFCON. Good luck to the team. I'm glad they won 1-0 yesterday. I watched the match, but to be honest, I didn't even fully watch it because I was trying to go outside, you know. But yeah, I always let everybody know. Let me know the teams you support as well. But me, Arsenal, proudly. And I'm hoping I can attend my first parade in June after Arsenal do the needful by God's grace. But Man City are para, man. It's not even funny, man. So let's see what happens on that front. Afriyu says, why do I have a feeling that Salim Fago will score 4 goals at AFCON? My brother, that is a feeling. Victor Osimhen is going to play most of the games and most of the minutes. If he does not play, if we play 2 strikers like Eric Shaw played in some of our recent games, Akwa Adams will start. If any of them are not playing well, he'll first bring up Olonuachu based on his current form and performance. I'm sure you showed the Fans Tribe guys. Shout out to the Fans Tribe guys, man. They're doing excellent work of platforming Nigeria, man. Like, wow. Sponsorships with DSTV going over there. I love what they do, man. And they serve like the perfect role for like, they're just amazing. Shout out to them anyway. But Danny was talking about Olonuachu's performances in training, you know, and I thought that was quite amazing to see. So Olonuachu will first play. Cyril Desas will first play. Number 4, before any Salim Fago plays on the pitch. Nothing against Salim Fago, but I'll be surprised if he even plays 1 minute in this tournament, if I'm being brutally honest. So let's see what happens on that one. But let's see. Mr. Adekule said his name is Thomas Mlambo. Thank you. That's his name. Been there forever. Good sports analyst from South Africa. The guy on tape for Super Sports. Exactly. Thank you. I literally remember watching him when I was a child. And honestly, he's looked the same like for 20 plus years. It's quite amazing to see, you know. So awesome work. Why Millie says NFF doesn't even have a website. I think they have one, but it's very, very useless. Like, we can tell that they paid somebody, the right people for the social media for AFCON, which is why the content is looking good on Instagram and Twitter. But we're hoping that as a man, we'll let them keep this content to, you know, for the long term, because we need it. I'm going to get into Motsepe's comments because there's going to be AFCON. Look, this AFCON is going to end in January 2026. There's going to be another AFCON June, July 2027, 18 months after. Then 12 months later or 18 months later, because I'm not sure they specified when the AFCON in 2028 will be, there will be another AFCON. Then we'll not have to wait for 4 years, you know. So we need that one for sure. So even in terms of the content, we need to see the NFF doing the rightful. I agree with you. That website, you can tell, is some old WordPress thing, and I just don't know why they just are committed to being mediocre. But I don't want to get into NFF too much now, but let's hope that they get it, they figure it out eventually. Any other comments? House rent, bro. What's your reaction for AFCON being 4 years now? I'm going to get into that after you. Just bear with me. King David, you're doing great, brother, all the way from Germany. I appreciate you so much. Thank you guys so much. Stan Khan says, I think I like the AFCON and African Nations League plan. We can now maybe be part of Finalissima. I like the plan myself, just to give a little disclaimer or spoiler of what I'm about to get into. But I think that Finalissima is rubbish. Like, who the hell made Europe and South America decide that the winners of their tournaments are the ultimate Finalissima? It's just a commercialized, branded friendly. And I hate when they insult the other countries or other continents. Like, who made you the arbiter to decide? Who made you? It's why when I look at the countries that won World Cups from 1930 to 1950, there's comma there until 1970 in my brain. They'll go and play World Cup. It will be Europe and South American teams. They'll invite one African team, one Asian team. They'll tell you they won World Cup. Nonsense. Finalissima my ass, excuse my French. Anyway, Christopher says Nations League is what I'm really looking forward to because it gives countries bragging rights on a different level in my opinion. Just to quickly talk about the Nations League thing. If they do it right, I think it could be a very good idea. The problem is if they try to do, I heard something about regionalization. Southern Africa, Eastern Africa, Northern Africa, West Africa. If they try any nonsense like that, that would be very stupid. Because we all know that all the best teams in Africa are in West Africa and North Africa except South Africa. South Africa, I class Cameroon as West Africa. Okay, you can maybe say Congo in center. But my point is, in East of Africa and in the southern part of Africa, apart from South Africa themselves, there's no country from that region that has any chance of winning AFCON. Yes, Zambia won in 2012, but have you seen the Chipolopolo right now? So as far as they do it the right way, like UEFA, where it's like Group A, let Nigeria be playing our big boys. Let all of us big boys playing ourselves. If you flop, you now go down to tier 2. With maybe who's a tier 2 country, let nobody be angry. Oh. Who would we call tier 2? Burkina Faso, maybe? But you get my points, you know, and then tier 3, tier 4, there's 54 countries in Africa, so we can figure it out. So if they do it correctly, I think that'll be fine. But if they don't, that's when there'll be a problem. Bobo, yes, Channel 4 Sports. Yes, you mean Channel 4. I think they'll show some games on their YouTube channel, which will be annoying. But for the most part, Channel 4 have enough TV channels that they should show it on terrestrial TV by God's grace. I think that'll be a big thing for us. Taiwo Okunade said Comoros should have played a balanced offensive game right from the first half. They played too defensive. It was later in the game that they started coming out to the Moroccans. I mean, it's an interesting comment because there's a world where I think if they stayed defensive the whole match, maybe they may not have lost the game. They got excited in the second half. They'd already played a compact game, frustrated the Moroccans in the first half. It was 0-0, and they decided to come out and get a bit excited. And of course, the Moroccans just picked them off, as you'd expect, with the talent that the Moroccans have. So it's an interesting one, you know. I think if the Comoros just stay disciplined, understanding that, look, we're inferior to Morocco, you know, this is a team that is their first AFCON in 1988, how many years? I'm usually good at maths. Almost 28 years. No, almost 38 years. Look at me trying to reduce my age. Almost 38 years, you know. They're playing in front of their fans. The king was there, you know, they're launching the stadium. Everything is ready. So the Moroccans had all the pressure to succeed. And Comoros did a good job of frustrating them in the first half. But I think they just got carried away. So it's an interesting one there. But let's see how it goes, you know. Elias also said, to be honest, for our national team, the potential is there. It's always been about having a stable table and playing games. For example, 2015 to 2019, we did not play. In our recent games, we've done well. Can you imagine? So for 4 years, Somalia did not play a game. That is exactly what the Nations League is meant for. For teams like Somalia to have games they can play every year against teams their level. That can only help them to benefit. Let's be playing the Egypt. Let's be playing Morocco, Senegal, our level. Don't be deceived because not make World Cup. That's still our level, you know. So I like that comment and I like that it buttresses my thought on that point. Guys, I'm just going to read the last few comments up to Afriyu. Then let me get on with the show and just do the quick show for you guys because I'm keen to also hear your feedback on the way the show is and the structure and if you like it and if there's anything you want to change. So bear with me quickly. Stan Khan said also it makes the AFCON higher stakes due to it being only once every year. I'm about to talk about that. I think that's a very, very good idea. I understand the thing about the soul of AFCON is every 2 years. But look, AFCON when it started was being played primarily players on the home continent. You know, all these one where our players are, majority of them are playing in Europe. South America too can complain, but the truth is Europe is the epicenter of football, at least club-wise. So something has to give. If it's every 4 years, your trophy is much more prestigious, much more valuable. I'm interested in seeing how is it going to be played in summer when they're playing the Euros as well, or do we still have our own like January, February slots? That'll be interesting to see. But I do like the idea of AFCON being more special. Can you imagine what we mean to win it and wait 4 years? But before that time, whether it's this 2025 one now, or the 2027 one in Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya, or the 2028 one, which let's not deceive ourselves, guys. It's going to be hosted in Morocco again. Which country is going to create facilities in the space of 2.5 years to host a new AFCON? Nigeria, let us touch one of these trophies. These three that are coming before we have to wait till 2032. Please, let's just hold on. Let us see me hold on. I'm begging you. Enough bronze medal. We have enough silver medal. No country has lost more AFCON finals than Nigeria. It's enough. Please, let's touch one. I'm begging you. So that would be amazing to see. H_B says, I hope it's not regional. It better not be regional. I think that would be rubbish. And honestly, I feel like these national association presidents, they should fight back if it ends up being a regional thing, because that is rubbish. What do you mean South Africa get to play Zimbabwe, Lesotho, Botswana? Nigeria, we are battling with Ghana, Mali, Senegal, Burkina Faso. May we respect ourselves now. Even our minnows are Benin, Cape Verde, going to the World Cup. Now tell us that they should be playing Tanzania versus Kenya so that they'll be feeling good about themselves. When in the whole region, if Nigeria plays all the teams from East Africa 10 times, we'll beat all of them 10 times. Please, there's no China rubbish with any thing. Emily says, I think Victor Osimhen is injured. I can categorically confirm that is not the case. In fact, he gave an interview today to Kali Sports. I just watched it literally 5 minutes before I started this live stream, talking about how Galatasaray have done everything to get him back fit, and he's feeling very good. And in fact, one of the things I like about Turkey, because of how much they respect their national team and love their clubs, they are not like England that will be making it seem like a player going to represent his country is an inconvenience. You can tell that Galatasaray have given Osimhen their blessing, and he's coming to AFCON ready. He was even shouting out the medical team for helping him get up to speed. So I think that's a good one for Osimhen. So hopefully Osimhen cannot be injured though. If Osimhen is injured, we're in big soup, guys. Big soup. So we don't want that. Omo2786 says, great content, bro. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Elias said, we are similar to Comoros, where our national team is built around the diaspora, with players playing lower leagues in England, Saudi, Scandinavian countries, would beat Seychelles comfortably. Exactly. So look at what Comoros have been able to do with their country. Even World Cup qualifying in their group with Ghana, I think they finished third. So it shows you what can happen with the right setup. But I really think that at the end of the day, when you look at it, for now, with the information I know, I don't claim to be an expert. You guys know me. I do my research. I love football, and I do my best to really make sure that we're coming to you with sharp thoughts. I've always been a football talker. I was the guy that I would sit down with when I was 10 years old with the uncles and talking about football, you know. But when you see what's happened to Comoros, you have to say that it looks like the African Nations League will be a net positive as long as we can secure the right, TV deals and make sure that we keep growing the pot for all the member associations in Africa. So let's see what happens on that case. Emily, please don't say this thing about Osimhen being injured now. I don't like this thing, man. I don't like this thing, man. No negativity. John, thanks for always commenting. I'm coming on the African Nations League, but I know I've spoken a bit already. TD Motion says, Olu, if we meet Morocco, do you think we'll have a chance of beating them? These guys, they know they play for us, so they are really strong at home. Evidence of the games, I have a feeling we might meet them. The truth of the matter is, if Nigeria finish top of our group, no matter what, we will have to face Morocco to get to the final, unless they manage a shock exits. From my calculations, we will face Morocco in the semi-final if we finish first in our group and make it all the way there. If we do not, if we finish second, there's a chance we may face Morocco in the final if we go all the way. But I must say that Morocco, as long as they do their job, they should have an easy AFCON until they get to the quarterfinals. Although, looking at the way their defense was shaky today, I think Mali will have something to say about that defense. I have them on a collision course to play South Africa in quarterfinals. Now, you guys, I know we take the piss sometimes about South Africa and all that, but let's not lie to ourselves. South Africa is a very, 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 very good football team. Like, they sabi the work. And I have a feeling that if South Africa, they've beaten Egypt before in AFCON 2019. Even the last AFCON, who knocked Morocco out? It was South Africa. Mokwena and his last minute free kick. So there's a world where, don't get carried away. Morocco played Comoros. You also can see in the first 30 minutes they were playing with too much passion in the first half. But let me get into my review. So even that pressure, there's a world where if it tips over the edge and it becomes too much for the Moroccans, it could end up being a net negative for them, in my opinion. So let's see how it goes, to be honest. But it'll be interesting to see what happens and our collision course of how we get on. FT Vibe says, shame on Nigeria, we only have one stadium that can play all matches. Also, it will take a decade to renovate. I agree. I'm even tired of them. I'm tired of them talking about renovating stadiums. Go and build new ones. Why? Gusau said they're trying to renovate Tesla Balogu Stadium. Why? If you go to Morocco or different countries, you will see that a lot of times the stadium is on the outskirts for a reason of the city. I don't know why Nigeria, you cannot renovate Teslim with that kind of traffic. Can you imagine if we had to play games in that place? Fair enough, Surulere maybe, but we need people to start thinking out of the box. That's what I like about Gusau saying they want to remake a Teslim. No, find new things, my guys. Find new things. Few more comments before I get into it. Afriyu says, I just think the AFCON being made for years influenced by FIFA and the UEFA clubs, and we are being westernized. Look, there's some influence, but look, we're authentically African. That will never change. But when we say we are being westernized, there are some things with our football that is it not good for us to benefit. So if it can help us in the long run, I don't see the problem, you know. So I think sometimes like we should just look at these things from a positive way and just be like, look, if it ends up growing our ports in the future and we get more respect globally and it allows us to align with international calendar better, there's a world where this may make sense. I'm not saying it's right. I know Infantino is a greedy man as well. That is clear. But we cannot keep on this collision course if we want to keep making money. The winner of AFCON is going to earn $7 million. The worst teams going to the World Cup will earn at least $9 million. We can say money does not matter, but a lot of African federations, this is how they make money. How much every generation can they really do? Who in Singapore wants to watch the Rwanda national team play a match, for example? So I think we have to just be a bit more nuanced about these topics and just accept that it's not as easy as it seems, you know. So let's see what happens about that, you know. But I think we'll adjust. But for now, take joy in the fact that today is December 2025. Between now and the next 3 years, we're about to watch 3 Africa Cup of Nations. 3 in 3 years. One now, one in the summer of 2027, and potentially another one in 2028. So I said, let's take out on that and let's focus on Nigeria winning one of them and let's see. Elias also said about Somalia not entering the African Cup of Nations from 1988 to 2023. Wow. So let's just say Somalia are really developing now. Like everything is just starting from now. As Sydney Bokwe, I like your comment. A serious team will trouble Morocco. They are perennial achievers. They are the Belgium of Africa. Comoros didn't have the quality to hurt them in the transitions. Now, I think Morocco may end up winning this tournament and we'll say, you know what, we expected it. But make no mistake about it, I saw the way their defense was panicking. Also, you are spot on, Sydney. Morocco are the biggest underachieving country in AFCON history. They have one AFCON title they won 50 years ago in 1976 on home soil. And I'm pretty sure that time it was still group stage there. You go and play final or some easy dubs like that, yeah. Morocco, last AFCON, South Africa pasted them. There was one before they got to the semi-final. I think Egypt then beat them. That was the Senegal one. Then the one before, if they did not lose, I think they lost to Benin Republic in round of 16. And that was even in North African soil. So let's see if they can get over that psychological hoodoo that is doing them. But I will not be surprised. Like I said, there's a collision course, in my opinion, with South Africa. And I know we battle South Africa, but they're a very, very good side and they could do the job. So let's see what happens with that statement and what happens there. Taiwo says that Teslim Balogu Stadium is a total scam. Prototype released by Lagos State government so that different from the poor job done. Imagine using a red aluminium roof. I told you, my bro, they're just talking interesting things, honestly. Adiola said at least now African players can get a good club and not consider AFCON come to take their players. So the 4 years idea is not bad. I've always thought that this point is overrated a little bit. If your player is really, really, really top quality, I'm sorry, you're not going to sign him because he's going to miss 4 of your games per season. But we would be lying if we said there's no inherent bias in the minds of some clubs. You know, we saw that undercover footage from the West Ham manager saying some interesting things. A West Ham coach one time about players who are signed and going to AFCON. And I thought it was very disrespectful. So we have to admit that if we remove that bottleneck, it will also benefit us, whether we like it or not to admit it. That's just the facts. That's the way it is, man. So, guys, by the way, is the sound okay? Can everybody hear me all right? And the Roshoma says Morocco need to improve, not impressive. I think that's a bit harsh. I thought they were pretty good, to be honest. It's just nerves, you know. But there's opportunities to still get at them. So now, I've been talking as usual, you know me, Rambler, for 40 minutes. God knows how long. Almost 40 minutes already. And I said I would do this quickly in 10 minutes. So let me go through the show in the structure I want, and then I'm gonna throw it into the audience, and everybody still bring in your comments. The one request I have of everybody, please, if you're enjoying this content, I can see that there's 180 people watching the video right now. I know it sounds silly when you hear YouTubers ask for a like, but trust me, it makes a massive difference. For some reason, the algorithm only recommends your videos or gives you support if your video has good engagement. You guys write for me in a way that I cannot explain. When all these videos I drop and we do our research and we bring it to you, you give me the comments, you give me the likes. But I'm begging you guys, we have only 4 likes from 192 people watching. It will take 2 seconds to like the video. So I'm begging you, we're now up to 39 likes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate if you could just like the video if you're enjoying the content. If you're not, I apologize. Let me know how I can improve. I want this to be as interactive and as fun as possible. If you guys are not enjoying the content, there's no point doing it. So thank you. Also, all you rich men, please, the super chats go a long way. Right now, I'm trying to support AFCON as much as I can, you know, so if you find it in your heart when we get into that, I'm also trying to find a way to make sure we platform the super chats properly and show them. So I will have that sorted out for tomorrow. So if that's something that you think you want to support with, look, we have to be shameless in how we promote our channel because it all helps the community and helps us to bring more content to you. And without you guys, we are nothing. So I really, really appreciate you all. And thank you guys so much. Okay, now let's get into the content. Let's chat. So, Morocco versus Comoros. I mean, what a game to start the tournament, if you ask me. Like, I thought Morocco were pretty good for this game, you know, 2-0 prediction as expected. When you look at the bulk of the starting 11 for the Moroccans, you have to say that one of the things that's benefited them is the fact that their team has stayed pretty much settled for a long period of time. I mean, if you look at their entire defensive line, you know, even someone like Salah Eddin, who's come in but did not start at the last World Cup, you can say that 8 of the 11 starters, apart from their strikers, 7 of them, or at least 6 of them were the starters at the last World Cup. Bono, Mazraoui are right back, Aguer and Roman Saiz are centre back, Salah Eddin as the left back, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Salah Eddin plays for PSV Eindhoven. You see, they also do not struggle to get these players to play for them anymore. That's just the honest truth. But this guy is pretty good, it must be said. Morocco. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I give you guys the information. Ana Salah Eddin, yeah, he plays for Roma. No, PSV. I knew it was PSV. Why did I say Roma? He's on loan from Roma. And he's 23 years old, so he's just naturalized to play for them. But look, go and check the stats. Morocco don't struggle to beg dual nationals play for them anymore. And we all know why, you know. So I thought that settled team really helped them. But their starting lineup, Salah Eddin started at left back. Their midfield pretty much picked itself. We had Sofiane Amrabat and Unahi, who was one of the stars of the World Cup, playing. Ismail Saibari also started, but that was expected. He's one of their new golden boys in the Moroccan team. And I thought he had a pretty good game. Up top was where it was interesting. You know, Brahim Diaz is always going to start. You know, correct me, guys. Is this Diaz's first AFCON? Did he play in that last AFCON? When did he naturalize for Morocco? 2024. Did he play that last AFCON? I don't think he did, though. I'm not sure. I think he started playing for them like at the end of 2024. So he's a very recent Moroccan player, but of course he now has 16 caps in 2 years, sharp. So now you've got Brahim Diaz, and one of my real concerns for the Moroccans going into the tournament is, can they have a talisman that can score goals? It's all well and good having Hakimi and Mazraoui as your fullbacks and Unahi, but when it comes to these tournaments, especially with the good pitches and the good facilities, this is where the big boys show their work. the talisman. There's a reason out of all the players that are still active in AFCON, Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane have scored the most goals in AFCON history right now. Although Mane is significantly, I think Mane has 12, Salah has 7. You know, so you need a talisman, and I was really looking to Brahim Diaz to show the work, because we know ever since he started playing for the Moroccans, he has not been messing up at all. Like, this is a guy that you cannot deny his workings. He has played 16 times for Morocco. He has scored 9 goals. 9 goals. That's even a better ratio than Osimhen. Last year, he played in 8 games for Morocco. He scored 7 goals. This year, he's played 8. Yes, he did not score a goal since the World Cup qualifier in March. But look at what he did for his country today. When the pressure was on, it's 0-0. Second half has started, and Brahim Diaz stepped up. So I thought he was exceptional, and I think he's gearing up to have a absolutely ridiculous tournament at home. So watch Brahim Diaz. Sofiane Rahimi, I mean, that striker. When you miss a penalty like that, and we know they started him because of the good Olympic tournament he had last year, I will not be surprised if he does not play a single minute again after this tournament. I mean, after this game. Look at what Al-Kabi did. We're still getting there, and El Nesri did not start. So Rahimi, you got your opportunity. It must be said that you let your country down. So even at the end of the game, they showed when the cameramen were showing like them at the end when they're shaking people, they showed a picture of Rahimi, and I think he looked so despondent, like, man, I'm not sure I'm going to touch this pitch again. It was so funny to watch, I'm telling you. And of course, they've got the youngster Neil El Anawi, who plays for AS Roma. So he had a pretty good game as well. But you see, there's a world where you're noticing what's happening in Morocco. Young players are coming through at all times. They are not begging people again. It's people that are coming to beg Morocco. This is what happens when you get your affairs in order. Can you imagine if Nigeria had our affairs in order? If Morocco can do this thing, there's no way we can't even compare footballing pedigree. Nigeria, we are like pedigree and history of football. We're like at least 5 times Morocco. Let's not lie. So do you think all this Nwane will be Shakarinos? Or Udogi will go and be playing for Italy when he will get no more 10 caps and be struggling, but if he messes up, they will call him, words that are not nice. There's no world where we should be struggling to attract our talents. Even Yamal that went to say he was always going to choose Spain, go and see that video of him supporting Morocco when they beat Spain in AFCON. I mean, in the World Cup. AFCON is on my mind, so that's what I'm thinking about. So very, very good performance. As for the Comoros team, by the way, a few of the heavyweights to remember, number 10, Mchangama, who scored the free kick against Ghana in 2021. Kari, I remember center back. Said Bakari came on in the game in 6th-7th minute as well. But we will get to the Comoros goalkeeper, Yannick Pando. Hey, that is how you make a name for yourself, my boy. You come and play the host. Yes, you still concede 2 goals, but you decide that you're leaving with something. You even save a penalty against the host on the opening game of AFCON. I thought he was fantastic, honestly. Like, this guy was born and raised in France, and he plays for a team called Franks Borans in Belgium. They're not even in the Belgian 1st division. So I think they're in the Belgian 2nd or 3rd division. So that's just to let you know the beauty of AFCON. But look how he performed today. All of a sudden, he's going to definitely be having conversations that he will not have been having before. We know that for a fact. That is just a fact. So I think it's quite interesting to see on that case, So very, very interesting, Who else played? I think one of the big things to mention about the Moroccans is the amount of talent that they have. I mean, for them to still bring on El Kabi, El Nesri, Massina, Abde El Zalzouli of Betis, I thought it really showed their strength in depth. There is a world where you argue that they still need like super, super strong quality like talent up front. But I just called Brahim Diaz's record. I think there's a world where he would decide that he's going to be the talisman for them this tournament, if I'm being honest. So let's see how that goes. Just to recap the game, I mean, we all know what happened. Morocco had a penalty in, I think, after 11 minutes. VAR awarded it after Brahim Diaz was brought down. I thought there was no problems with that penalty decision. Sofiane Rahimi played a bit of a conservative penalty, but he should have done better. 19th minute, it was so sad seeing Roman Saiz go off injured. You know, this is a guy that's plays blood, sweat, and tears for Morocco, and it's probably going to be his final tournament for the country. I wasn't even sure if he was going to make their squad, to be honest. And just see him in tears was really, really hard to take. You know, players are still human beings. And I think we forget that a lot, that they're going through a lot, man. The pressure must be sickening. So that was really sad to see. But of course, they brought Jawad El-Yamik, who we all recognize his face. And then in the 43rd minute, there was an interesting decision. Do you remember when the referee wasted our time to go and check the VAR incidents on Brahim Diaz, when it was clearly a foul for Comoros? What was that about? CAF referees, please. I know Morocco are the home team. They're already good enough. They have enough advantages. Please, let's not be wasting time with interesting VAR discussions. We don't want to see that at all. So please, cut that nip that in the bud. We don't want to see that again. So I thought that was interesting. But then at halftime, I thought the Comorans were feeling pretty good about themselves. Like I said, they defended very compactly. They did not give away too many chances. Yes, the Moroccans were snatching at chances in the first half because you could tell they wanted it a bit too much. This is why I say there's a world where the Moroccans might be a bit too emotional about this World Cup. Keen listeners, you guys remember, some of you, depending on our age, you remember Italy in 2006? No, it was Italy, Germany in 2006 World Cup. Sorry. There's a certain kind of emotion Germany was playing with in that tournament. Riding the wave. You see the way Italy packed them up in that semi-final in the most brutal fashion. I don't know, I just have a feeling that Morocco, if they don't just stabilize their emotions, like in that first half, you can see they were getting a bit too excited. You know, they had 7 shots, they had 79% possession, but they were just snatching at chances. You know, everyone's getting a bit too excited about the occasion, which is understandable because, my word, Moroccan fans are amazing. Do you see where they flooded the whole stadium? Like, everything is ready for them. But I just have a feeling, the way the first half went, you could tell that the nerves were getting to them. Because Comoros don't really do much. They just defended very compactly. They had 10 men behind the ball. In fact, they had 10 men in their final third. They weren't even interested in pushing up. They just wanted to soak up the pressure and really hold the fort against Morocco. So I thought the first half was quite interesting and concerning from the Moroccans. But the second half, this is why you need your big players to deliver. Shout out to the comment earlier about your big players delivering. And that's why I have a feeling Brahim Diaz is going to have an excellent tournament. The way he came on and he just showered those blessings on his team, I thought it was fantastic, honestly. And that's exactly what your team needs. Somebody to just be the game breaker. Got the ball from Mazraoui in the second half. Fantastic finish. The Comorans, they can only do so much. Is there even anything as Comorans? Am I saying the right thing? But Diaz, he should not be left unmarked in the box. You cannot leave the danger man attacker that wide in the box, just slots in a fantastic finish and make it 1-0. And the noise you could hear from the crowd, oh my God. You could tell that we had liftoff. Like, wow. Almost like that Shabalala South Africa goal in the World Cup, even though they still drew. But once Morocco went 1-0 up, you kind of knew that the game was over as a contest. Although, speaking about this game, after Brahim Diaz scored that goal, very, very surely, do you guys remember 3 minutes after, the Comoros attacker dispossessed the left back and had a straight beeline towards goal. He even should have scored. He now did his leg over, went to Mr. Ezi like 3 or 4 and scuffed the shot and took it straight to Bono. This is what I mean about opportunities. AFCON is still AFCON, man. You cannot disrespect any opponents and you cannot take things for granted. And that Moroccan left back, he was very lucky, Salahadin, because it could have been a very, very funny, teachable moment for him. And we know the Moroccans will never have forgiven him. Opening ceremony, you go and make mistakes to draw against Comoros. But that just tells you that AFCON, you can never, ever, ever underrate any team. Very quickly after the 63rd minute, Mazraoui should have made it 2-0. I thought it was a great, great save by Pando. This Comoros goalkeeper that we don't know who he was before. Remember the last time Comoros were at the AFCON, they had a 34-year-old goalkeeper in goal. So this guy is new and fresh. And see how he performed. Just fantastic. After that, what else did I remember? 74th minute, get me lay. Get me lay. Are you Belkabi? Are you dumb? Home tournament in your country. You come on the pitch. It's 1-0. You receive that cross. And the first thought in your mind is, you know what? I'm going to bicycle kick this. And the interesting part is the person that crossed the ball to him was that left back that almost made that mistake with Salahadin. See the cross. You just see 2 of them watching it. And the audacity on the man, El Kabi. Bicycle kick straight into the bottom corner. I had to stand up and be clapping on my TV. I don't know how you guys felt, but wow. Already one of the goal of tournament contenders, if not goal of tournament ready. We hope the goal of tournament does not come in the first game because we should be getting more bangers, and that's what AFCON is about. But I was even talking to my friend watching the game that why are they playing this Raini guy when El Kabi is on the bench and El Nesri is on the bench? These people are used to the pressure. Yes, they are no Victor Osimhen, but El Kabi won the Conference League for Olympiacos. El Nesri, we know his record when he was at Sevilla and playing for Fenerbahce now. It's not as if these guys are bombs. So Raimi, you're going to chop that bench for a while, man, unfortunately. That's just the way it's going to go. But El Kabi, what a goal. But anyway, the final stats to the game, just to give you a rundown, was exactly what you'd expect from this match. You know, the Moroccans absolutely dominated. You know, they had a total of 16 shots to the Comoros. Comoros having 4. They had 7 shots on target. So Pando had to make 5 excellent saves. 70% possession. And once they got that first goal, you could see that the ball was flowing. They were feeling the confidence. So they were tapping the ball left and right, back heel to back heel. I was like, all right, Morocco, all right. It's not going to be this easy for you going forward, though. It's not going to be easy for you going this forward, though. You're lucky they put Comoros and Zambia in your group. But Mali will not allow some of those things they saw. But overall, I thought the Moroccans did exactly what you expect the host nation to do in the opening game of a tournament. Win routinely, 2-0. Concede very, very minimal chances, apart from that one that they conceded. The XG is even 2 to 0.3, so very deserved win. They could get better at certain things like their set pieces, of course, and be more clinical, because when they face the more similar sides to themselves, with the pressure on their neck, if they're not clinical enough, it will tell. That's just the way football goes. But overall, if you're a Moroccan right now, big up yourself. You'll be very excited about how your team has performed. And I'm sure looking forward to your next game, which will be against Mali on Friday, 9 p.m. So look out for that game. So guys, this is another thing I want your feedback on. Rather than doing Starboy of the Week for AFCON, we're going to do African Giant of the Day. The idea is, we're talking about the African Cup of Nations, but at the same time, let's be honest, when people say African Giant, who do they think of? Nigeria. It's not Bonner that made the album. So this is our way of being inclusive to Africa, but remaining authentically Nigerian. And I think this is a tasty one, even though it's just one game played today. I think for the bicycle kick that was scored alone, scoring one of the goal of tournaments, I have to give El Kabi and Mazraoui. I thought Mazraoui was fantastic. My United fans, how do you think about the way he performed compared to his club performances? But you guys have started playing better, although you lost today. But because AFCON is on, I've not been watching Premier League like that. But man, you are funny. I think Mazraoui and El Kabi are the bronze medalists for the African Giant of the Day. And then Mr. Pando, Yannick Pando, this goalkeeper of life that is playing in the 2nd division in Belgium. You had yourself a game, my friend. 5 saves. So you get the silver medal. But no matter what in football, the hardest thing is putting the ball in the back of the net. And Brian Diaz, with your country panicking a little bit, squeaky bum time, you know, second half has started. Comoros are still like thinking maybe we could get something from here. The stadium is a bit subdued and quiet. And then in the 55th minute, you do that and you put the ball in the net to have lift off for your country. It's only your 2nd goal for your country this year. But we know your workings last year. It's a bit like Lookman. We all know how well Lookman played for Nigeria last year and how many goals scored for Nigeria last year. But this year, we know that it's been a bit of a struggle despite the talent. But to see Brian Diaz seize the moment and score the opening goal of AFCON, I have to give the gold medal for the African Giant of the Day to Brahim Diaz. Good on you for choosing Morocco. You should have chosen them earlier, Sha. All these players like to Shakara. Look, with the moment all these things stop with Shakaraing from these players that play for African countries, we will begin to prosper. In fact, we'll go to World Cups and be dominating these people. I'm telling you. Just for reference, last year, before 2024, Lookman had 2 goals in 11 games for Nigeria. And last year, he played 16 games, but he scored 6 goals. Last year was his most prolific year for Nigeria. And this year, he's played 7 games and scored 0. So that's what I mean about it's time to ginger, my boy. You know, let's wake up and let's figure this thing out. So, as part of the live show, I want to also talk about anything that's interesting that's happened in AFCON that we should know about. And I think for this episode, it's very simple. We have to start with Mosepe's CAF announcement. So, for anybody living under the rock, everybody here clearly loves their football and is engaged. We all know that on the eve of every AFCON tournament, the CAF president always gives a press conference to the media to explain, his thoughts for the tournament, any changes we can expect, and just key things that the media needs to know about the tournament or CAF moving forward. And we had an absolute bomber dropped on us. They told us that CAF will. Sorry, I go and turn that threw me off. CAF are about to change the African Cup of Nations to become a 4-year tournament. Yes, you heard that correctly. The African Cup of Nations will become a 4-year tournament. Thankfully, this will not get into effect until the year 2028. So we have a total of, 3 years, give or take, to still have as many AFCONs as possible. Like I said, 3. Now, I've already given my thoughts a little bit in a few moments about my thoughts on it, but we will have the same AFCON next year. Will go ahead in Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya. By the way, if any Kenyans are watching this, I went to Tanzania. I went to Kenya this year. I went to Zanzibar this year. I went to Tanzania. I bought something from duty free. We stopped over in Kenya. The Kenyan guy at the customs was being so rude to us. He said Nigerians were always loud. I was thinking, guy, what was your feelings? Did some Nigerian man take your wife before? So rude. He now told us that we cannot take the things we bought from the Tanzania airport, even though it was the same airport. So Kenya, fix your thing before the next World Cup. AFCON. I know this is Nairobi, because in Diani Beach, they're nice there. So, beautiful country, but please remember your hospitality. I just want to say that one. After that AFCON, we will then have another one in 2028. We don't know who's going to host it, but guys, I can bet money it's going to be Morocco. I can bet. Come on, guys. How many AFCONs have Morocco hosted for women's tournaments? Even this next women's AFCON in March is going to be Morocco. Morocco are going to host the next 3 AFCONs for women. They're literally like Motsepe's saving grace every time. It's not good enough. Everybody else needs to go and stand up and figure that thing out. So hopefully we'll see that happen for the rest of the tournaments. So what does this mean? There will be an introduction of the African Nations League from 2029. I already spoke about what I think about the Nations League. As long as they follow the format of let the Tier 1 nations play the Tier 1 teams, Tier 2 teams play Tier 2 teams, and there's relegation and promotion and to incentivize teams, and we also know that there will be a backdoor way to get to the World Cup based on your Nations League performances. So that's how you make the Nations League more important than it ideally should be. But am I mad at playing competitive games? Hell no. Do I think the players will be mad at that? Hell no. I think it's going to benefit everybody in the long run. Yes, are we changing the CAF tradition that's existed since 1957? Yes, but we cannot be fighting this argument every 2 years. We want our players playing the best leagues, and we should stop being hypocritical. People will say we are being westernized, but all of us, they watch Premier League, whether you are born here or you are born there. So something has to give. We need to find a balance that works for everybody, and I kind of feel like we need to see the iteration of this Nations League first, because that regional rubbish must not happen. So Motsepe, don't try that rubbish, because South Africa, you are the king of the Southern Africa area. But if they execute this thing correctly, and it's intertwined towards AFCON qualification or World Cup qualification, at least through the back door, I can see a world where it makes sense. And look, you guys know me. I don't think we're not inferior to Europe in any way. We have the vibes. AFCON is my favorite tournament after the World Cup. The energy, the dancing, the music, the hospitality, the friendliness. But we need to harness it better, make it more prestigious, whether we like it or not. So let's see what we can do on that phase. One thing to also mention, guys, everybody, I know I've said I'll comment on all the comments. I'm still coming. I must comment on all comments, by the way. So, all in all, I'm happy. I'm not mad at the changes, but we must see things implemented, because CAF, we don't want to hear a story. We need to see the workings. It's why we're all excited for Morocco, because they're not talking. They're doing. They're talking and doing. So we're not worried about what they're telling us about. We can see the action already. So really, really good to see on that front. Also, of course, Nigeria will not ever carry last. If they do AFCON opening ceremony, Nigerian singer must sing. Shout out to Davido for being on the official CAF song for the African Cup of Nations. I think French Montana is lucky to be there. That will be claiming Morocco, but couldn't they find like some Moroccan artists that actually they claim Morocco all the time? You know? But shout out to Davido for putting us on the map as usual. We're already on the map, but for being the presenter, you cannot have a opening ceremony without a Nigerian headlining in some capacity. It does not make sense. Now we they run this music thing in Africa, whether anybody likes or not. So our footballers need to learn from them. So very quickly, next segment, let me know your thoughts on this as well. The fixtures for tomorrow, blockbuster day of AFCON. If you're in Nigeria, because of the time difference, at 3 p.m. tomorrow, Mali will kick off the African Cup of Nations at home against Zambia. Now, Chibolopolo, I don't know what's happened to you guys. Yes, I know you beat Tanzania in your last game. Fashion Sakala scored a goal. But your World Cup qualification was dreadful. I never expected it. And I thought Patsindaka would become your talisman. But we've not necessarily seen it happen. Also, Mali, this is their first AFCON where they're going without Eric Shell. So it'll be interesting to see what that looks like without Eric Shell. You know, if Mali play well or better than last AFCON, because you must admit, Mali played very well last AFCON. They were very lucky to go out in quarterfinals to Ivory Coast after those last-minute equalizers from Andigua in 90th minute and 120th minute. We played very well. I mean, I said we. Eric Shell's team played very well. So that's why I'm even more confident about AFCON, because this man clearly has an attacking philosophy, and there's no excuses on the pitch. But Mali will be looking to right those wrongs, because I thought Mali would give Ghana a run for their money for World Cup qualification. But Mali were atrocious. Honestly, so bad. So the core of their central mids and their attackers, Sinayoko especially and Karamudumbia, it's time to rise it. This match, I'll be honest, AFCON may AFCON as well. But I think if we're likely to see the big boys beat the small boys, it is going to be this AFCON, because the pitch, there's nothing to be an equalizer like physical fitness, because we're playing on good pitches, technical quality, everything is there to be shown. And I think Mali will beat Zambia by, I'll go for 2-0. 2-0. I think Tom Sanford's their manager, so Mali will be feeling pretty good about their chances. And then Bafana, obviously shout out to our South Africans, always showing love. They play Angola at 6 p.m. tomorrow. I think this is going to be a very, very exciting game, and I'm looking forward to watching this one. These are two teams that made at least the quarterfinals of the last AFCON. Remember Nigeria, we defeated Angola in quarterfinal after Lukman's goal. But Angola were very good in the group stage. They played so well. Remember all their dance moves, all the energy. Yes, they had a terrible World Cup qualification as well, but I'm sure they'll be trying to use AFCON as their tonic to get better. And when you look at even their viral clips of them dancing, you know, it's quite good to say that the Angolans are definitely going to big the vibes. South Africa also, they've qualified for the World Cup directly for the first time since 2002. You know, they finished third at last AFCON. Their country is pretty much like a club side where you have about 7 starters from Mamelodi Sundowns starting a national team. I think the vibes in South Africa are very good. South Africa have played so well recently that even with Nigeria, it was not us. They got their points deducted. Even with that points deduction, South Africa still topped the group to qualify for the World Cup. Underrate South Africa your peril. South Africa also have this energy where they like to beat North African teams. There's something they like about playing North Africa. So I think South Africa will be feeling pretty confident against Angola. I think Angola, I can remember that guy with the hair. Someone remind me his name. I know he has left the team. But Angola will be trying to show some good work. But I do think the South Africa will be a bit too strong. Even the fact that I don't rate their striker, La Foster, with Apolis and Kuta, their midfield is very good. And they play as a team. You would expect South Africa to get the job done. So I'm expecting let me go for 1-0 South Africa win, but I would not be surprised if it ends up being a draw. And then to end tomorrow's games, we've got the king as they call him in Egypt, Mohamed Salah, making his reappearance for his first game at AFCON. You know, we all know the story said about Mohamed Salah and Liverpool. Yes, they won against Tottenham and they're feeling pretty good for them. But Mohamed Salah is a man on a mission. This man has been to 2 AFCON finals and lost both of them. It's a very interesting situation because Mohamed Salah is Egypt's best ever player based on what he achieved in football, but he's not their greatest ever player because we have to keep it to Abu Treka. We were all there for you to win back-to-back AFCON 3 times in a row. Till today, no team has repeated AFCON since Egypt did it in 2010. In fact, Cameroon did it twice in 2000 and 2002. Then Tunisia did their own in 2004. Then Egypt did back to back to back. What is the deal? No team has retained AFCON since then. So Abutrika is like the hero of Egyptians, and rightfully so. Because we were all there. Do not let people gaslight you. What Hasham Shimata was doing with that team. El Hadiri in goal, Walid Goma. That was a serious outfit. Mohamed Zidane. So I think Egypt, look, just down North African soil, so they'll be feeling very confident about the climate. They know their mission. Yes, their superstar is Salah and Mamouche, but I'll be very surprised if Trezeguet is not in the squad as well. He always turns up for them from nowhere. So I'm sure Trezeguet will be there somewhere, and they'll be feeling pretty good about their chances. And they're playing Zimbabwe. So Zimbabwe are a tricky side. Look, Nigeria will not be Zimbabwe once, remember, in World Cup qualifying, So there's a world where that could be very, very tricky for us, But I do expect Egypt to dispatch Zimbabwe fairly easily. Trezeguet is in the squad, Zizou is in the squad, Hamdi Fati is in the squad. There's a world where you have to say that this feels like last chance saloon for the Egyptians. When you look at their squad, the average age, they're pretty old. Salah, 33. Mustafa Mohamed, 28. Even Mamouche, that is just finally blossoming. He's already 26 years old. He'll be 27 in February. Mustafa Fati, 31 already. Trezeguet, 31. Zizou, 29. Fati, 31. Like Mohamed Lashin, 29. Like this, they're bare old people. Rami Rabia, 32. Mohamed Hamdi, 33. This feels like last chance saloon. I also watched a reputable Ivorian journalist talk about his fears about the Egyptian goalkeeper situation. El Shanawi is 37 years old. There's Shenawi, 37. El Shanawi, 34. Would they give opportunities to the young 25-year-old Mustafa Shober? We wait to see. But I think Egypt, based on how they were performing in World Cup qualifiers, they should be feeling pretty confident about going into the AFCON, and I expect them to have a routine. Let's say 3-0. Get me late, get your country people late. Let them feel something. One thing I'll say is Egypt don't really concede goals when you look at their record. So that's why it's a good omen. But maybe it will be 2-0, maybe it will be 3-0. But I do think that Egypt, if they play the way they should be playing when you want to execute an AFCON, they should be winning this match 3-0. So those are my predictions for tomorrow's game. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Tomorrow's games. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on those games as well. Now, quickly, club football updates. I just want to touch about Maduka Okoye and Christian Uche. Maduka Okoye's Udinese played today against Fiorentina away. Fiorentina were bottom of Serie A. And somehow, they contrived to lose by 5-1 because in the 7th minute of the game, Maduka Okoye decided to come out of his box to make a clearance and inadvertently tackle the striker and got a straight red card. Yes, you heard me. After like 5-6 minutes. That means that the team now contrived to concede 5 goals. After this whole thing, because even me, I always give Maduka benefit of the doubt. But we know there's a world where he said he will not come to AFCON potentially because of Udinese. But now he has gotten a red card and will be suspended for 3 matches, which means he cannot play for Udinese until the 7th of January. So that means that for the next 2.5 weeks, he's not going to be playing for Udinese when he could have been in camp building relationships with Nigerian players. Because I don't like this thing of him isolating himself. Even when you watch that Libya video, why is it that Maduka is always by himself? Can't you make friends? Are you the first? Okay, he's the only German Nigerian, but come on, you're friendly enough. But I think it's quite ironic. I don't think it's his fault, of course, but it's just mysterious how these things work. Like, whoever is swearing for you in your village, obviously, I'm just joking. Please don't take that serious. But it's very unlucky for Maduka. When I saw it and I watched the highlights, I could not believe my eyes. I said, Maduka, you that I wanted to come and start as our number 1. But hear me out, guys. As far as Nabali is fit, I am very, 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 very okay. Nabali has not let us down significantly. I know people complain about his World Cup qualifiers, but this guy still does the job for us. And I like how confident Nwabali is, to be honest. Also, Crisanto Uche, we also had Chivella go for Crystal Palace on Thursday. I just wanted to mention it in case nobody has seen it. I like the confidence Uche can bring. Uche is someone that I think this is going to help him for Super Eagles' career going forward. We don't need him now, but we'll need him next year. And Uche is a player and a half. People know my feelings already. But of course, after that came humiliation because he played 12 minutes and the Crystal Palace chopped it from Leeds. 4 goals to 1. He only played the final 14 minutes, to be honest, because it was already 3-0. I like that Glasner is now starting to give him minutes, and hopefully he'll get his first Premier League starts sooner rather than later. So literally, that's it, my guys. A bit of a long one. Of course, we're already at 1 hour 20 minutes because we must cho. But that is literally the idea of the AFCON daily live stream. You know, what the whole concept is: quickly review the games that have happened on the day, talk about the African giant of the day, keep it as a bronze medal to silver to gold medal because we want to promote African football. Any interesting things to note about the tournaments, predict and talk about the fixtures for the next day. And then we go into the fun part, which is if any listeners would love to join the stream and quickly have a chat and a conversation. Of course, I know that when Nigeria plays, we'll do our normal hot takes and our real live stream watch along, which is when everybody tends to come in their peaks and droves. But I want to say a big thank you to everybody for joining. You know, this is really last minute. I set up the stream earlier today. And I just want to bear with me, guys. AFCON is my priority, but I'm trying to grow this channel, and it's because of you guys, but I'm not an official journalist yet. You know, I have my day job. I work in advertising. I'm a marketer by day, you know. So there may be some days where I may be unable to do an AFCON daily live stream, but I'll be sure to do another one the next day, or at least do a daily show recap for your listening pleasure so that you do not miss any AFCON moments. So I just want to give that caveat just in case. But as much as possible, we will bring you this content hot and hot. And thank you guys so much for your help, because when Sporty TV called me, I could not believe my eyes, you know. And let me know how I did if you could get the chance to watch that video. So, before I post the link to get some people to join, let me go through the comments, because I really love how much we engage in this community and how everybody talks to each other and converses. That's what it's all about. Whether you're in diaspora or whether you're in Nigeria, we want to have a safe space where everybody can feel connected and talk about the Super Eagles or even AFCON in general, like this tournament where we want to cover everybody. As I said, I'm hoping I could get there, but we'll see what happens. But let me know your thoughts in your comments, and let me just go back and review. This is another timely moment for me to say, please like, share, and subscribe. We are literally very close to 10,000 subscribers. Just to be honest, my last job was at Google, and my manager used to tell me that once you get 10,000 subscribers, the algorithm gives you a lot more opportunities to grow your channel and to bring in your community and your members. So it's a big milestone for us, because I thought we were only going to get to 5,000 this year. That was even my goal, 5,000. We started this year at less than 500. But I had a feeling that we have something. We can talk about Nigeria. We love our country. We love our superstars. And I don't think there's enough space for people doing our national team and our players the due justice they deserve in terms of us talking about them and speaking about them and raising their roof. I live in London, as I like to be honest about. In London, sometimes I get so angry at the way they try and talk like Nigeria is this second option. Like, who the hell are you? Yes, we have our fleeing problems here or there, but do you know what the Super Eagles means to us? Do you know that feeling? Think about how you felt when Musa scored that goal against Iceland or Sonny Umba, or even Osimhen against Benin Republic, where I'm jumping on Odumodu in my house. I don't feel that for England in any way at all. And I'm telling you, even these are players in Saka, this is what happened to Joshua the other day on Twitter, because he's using Nigeria flag. All of a sudden, the people in England say, I'm sick of this. You cannot win. Go where you're loved. And me, I love Nigeria. I love us so much. So you guys are the ones letting all of this happen. Without you guys, I'm nothing. I know it sounds harsh, because I know I do my research, I come here, I talk, but if the audience is not listening, there's no content. So we must never get too big for our boots. I know I'm a confident man and I like to speak, but I'm also very humbled by the support and everything. So before I go to the comments, please, if you've not liked the video, please like the video. Super chats, it will come when it comes. Don't worry too much, the timing. And if you're watching this and enjoying the content and you're yet to subscribe, please, I'm begging you, just subscribe. Watch the video. You know, even if it's 2 minutes, watch it. Watch that advert. Click on it, even if you don't plan to buy it. Let's just help support the channel, you know, because that's what's allowing me or enabling me to try and use my own personal money to see if I can go to Morocco, even as a fan. Yes, have I sent a last-minute request for, like, media accreditation? If I can get it, I will see. But I think with the things I'm even planning, I can still bring you guys very good content around Super Eagles of Nigeria. And I think, look, we don't let AFCON come around. AFCON does come around often, so we must talk, you know. Why Millie? I just saw somebody say something about Dirty December. Timothy Chalamet said, nah lie. By the way, I need to go watch that movie, Marty Supreme. Nah lie, you do Dirty December. Guys, I never denied that. I like to have fun. Look at my voice. I'm here. My family live here. It's nice to see everybody. Who doesn't like to have a good time? And full disclaimer, maybe I'll be a bit more honest about my personal life. I like to have fun. Money Constant. Have you heard what that song sounds like in these Lagos clubs? Come on, like, yeah, we will be there. So it's finding the right balance, you know. But of course, I want to make sure I go to Morocco, and I take this, I put my love, my blood, sweat, and tears to this. But you guys have made me realize that we have something we can work with, because when you're talking to a microphone for 4 years and you're getting, you know, 400 views, 200 views, you never get disheartened, but you know you're doing it because you're passionate about your country. You know, and I have my day job, like I said, you know, I'm hoping to get back into having my, you know, but for you guys, show me the possibilities of this viewership and what could be possible. I do not take it for granted. So God bless every single one of you, and shout out to you. Comments. At Samuel's Ijibomi 7231, Faith Academy alumni, bro. Shout out to you, man. Yeah, man. So we're all in Faith Academy suffering. No, well, not suffering. No, there's some good times. I'm not going to lie to you. Boarding school taught me to be independent, and that's how we all learned how to iron clothes. That's why we're all professional ironers. But the way they used to slap me, or the way the teachers be committing like child abuse in the name of treating you. And for some reason, some of those teachers, I don't think if they think you're a bit like, I don't know, confident, it's like trying to size you down. But anyway, we're not talking about Faith Academy. Shout out to you, big you up. Shout out to Bishop Oyedepo, shout out to Covenant University, everybody, big up. Thanks for coming and for confirming in the chat, everybody, that it's Brahim Diaz's first AFCON. And like you said, he scored already in his first AFCON. I think that is exactly what we should be expecting to see, and that's amazing to see. Stan said, I feel like Energy should step up for them, or El Kabi. Brother, from what we saw El Kabi do today, I think he's going to do the stepping up. We don't have to worry about that. Our tough conversation said, who do you believe should be Osimhen's strike partners? And do we go with the 4-4-2 versus Tanzania, since we're sure they're going to sit back against us? I'm curious to know what you guys think, man, because I'm going to do the preview for Tanzania after this. Me personally, I would rather we play a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, personally. Because first game, I don't want you to start shalaying teams and playing two up top. Yes, they will sit back, and we saw what Akwa Adams did for us against Gabon. But remember, when Akwa Adams scored against Gabon, it was the 70-something minute, and it was a mistake. Yes, we were not clinical. We created a good amount of chances ahead of the Akwa Adams goal. But I like in DR Congo, if we are being brutally honest, if that Lookman cutback was finished by Ndidi Ochukwueze, we will not be having all these debates. There is no world where Nigeria go 2-0 up in that game and concede 2 goals. It's not happening. You people know my thoughts. Congratulations to Wilfred Ndidi on becoming Super Eagles captain. I always knew he could potentially be one of them. But you people know, I don't like that Ndidi is always at the crime scene of these mistakes. Why was he trying to trap the ball there? But the whole point is the 4-2-3-1 or the 4-3-3 played against Congo was showing signs of life. We were cooking in the first 30 minutes, like Chukwueze keeps saying on these Fulham videos. And let's be honest, the Congolese, we knew that it was a bit of a struggle. Even with the way they were peppering us at certain points, it must be said that it's not as if they were creating clear-cut chances like that. Yes, they had a physical advantage because we played 120 minutes twice. And Osimhen left the pitch after 45 minutes. But I like what I was seeing from that formation in the beginning. I even like when I used to see Lookman and Chukwueze come into the middle and try to be break to the lines. Remember against Gabon, before Akwa Adams scored, Lookman was playing those through balls to Osimhen. He snatched a few chances here or there. So that's someone that we even need to see have a great AFCON. In fact, I want this AFCON to be Osimhen AFCON. It's as simple as that. You have one AFCON goal. You are 6 goals away from tying Rashidi Ekini. Come and flourish, my boy. So personally, tough conversations. I hope we still stick with a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. But if we play a 4-4-2, I would rather we start at Adams. At the end of the day, international football, when you deliver, you show your workings. This is not club football that you have all year. If you played 4 games for your country and you have scored twice, my brother, you are showing us that you are capable of delivering. And I also like how they send themselves off well from Sevilla in that their last game against Real Oviedo. So I really think Aquadam is going to have a very, very important AFCON tournament. Whether it starts or whether it's off the bench, that one is sure. Our Emily, thanks always for the comments. Hakimi missed the penalty last AFCON. Thank you, I remember. Thank you so much. Stan says, Adams has taken his chance and held down the spot of second striker. Spot on. And you must take your chances. We all know Boniface talents, but bro, you've played 14 games, you did not score any goal for Nigeria. Bye-bye, yo. Thank you. Even Aroko D scored 2 in like 5 games. Onuachu can come in now. Maybe with the talent and how he's feeling, he can get back to those conversations and we'll see. Samuel says, you were in Blue House as a striker. Wow, you really know me, Samuel. Oh, yeah, were you? Can you explain? Yes, I used to try and play. I used to play as a striker. Oh. Yes, sir. What's that to you in Samuels? We can't do well of Osimhen front. Why Millie? No. Like I said, from the Gabon and the Congo games, you've seen moments where with one up top, we've still done well. So let's see. Dave Ogunlade says, Morocco's only AFCON trophy win was in Ethiopia in 1976. Morocco was the host in 1988. Thank you for clarifying that. I don't know why I thought Morocco were the host when they won it. So it's actually Ethiopia. I know about Morocco 98. The OGs on the channel have educated me about Henry Wosu's disallowed goal and how the Isayato had just become CAF president. And I don't like looking at the record of how he lost to Cameroon. But you guys know I'm a 93 baby, so I did my first AFCON I watched was 2000. But I really appreciate. This is why I wanted to bring this channel out. Other countries. England, do you know how many videos we've watched about 1990 Italia or the 1960s golden generation? But Nigeria, where's the footage of our heroes? Do you know that I even learned today about how many caps Shego Odegbami's brother had for Nigeria? Wole Odegbami. But because we don't document these things, we don't have the archives, we don't have the videos, we don't have the YouTube. Try and watch Sonny Uba's goal in the 2013 final on YouTube. Show me the kind of content you can find. So we're the ones doing ourselves this injustice, man. And we need to have these things so that we can know our history. If we don't know our history, we don't know where we're going. It's why you have these fights with diaspora. Do you think if diaspora understand what the national team means to the country in detail and can watch a documentary like Super Eagles 96 on Prime Video and see the content of, let's say there's one about the 1980s team. Go on the NFF channel right now on YouTube. They drop this good documentary series about the road to AFCON. But if you see the way they branded it so shabbily, the title is rubbish, the views are rubbish. Meanwhile, Osimhen is giving us his perspective of losing the AFCON final. But because as a man cannot just do things properly, this is something you can hire an agency in Lagos. Social media agency will fix it for you, quick. So we'll keep lamenting, man. Let's watch another team sharp, but I hope we get the things done, man. Like Ilya said, if Nigeria had everything, Saka Musiala would have played for Nigeria. You can take the person out of Nigeria, but you can't take Nigeria out of him. Exactly. There's an emotion we always feel about our country that we cannot explain. It's why I cannot understand tribalism. Once you leave the shores of Nigeria, every time you see Nigeria, you're so excited. You are very proud of your country. Me, I carry football and Afrobeat on my head because that's what I can support. You know, and everybody will come and play show in London. But there's a Nigerian spirit that is hard to explain and botify. Look how all of us have come to Lagos for that December in the midst of chaos. Why are we coming? Because there's a Nigerian spirit and feeling that we cannot explain. And we must never lose that feeling. So I'm hoping one day we'll get our stuff together because let me tell you, the way Nigeria, we have seed everywhere. France, Spain, Germany. Go and name any country in Europe. Is it France? Is it Spain with Agueroa? Is it Germany with Karim Adeyemi and Nnamdi Collins? Even it's a Tubolu guy that's doing Shakara for us. Italy, Udoge, Michael Kayode. Michael Kayode is not playing for Nigeria. It doesn't make sense to me. Don't even get me started on England. Nwaneri, Saka, Madueke, Eberecheze. I even saw Eze in a comedy show in London. I told him you're supposed to be a GG. Yes, personal preference. Maybe they really love England though and God save the Queen. Oh. But you cannot tell me if someone like Eze understood the project that we think can be the next chief flair officer of Nigeria and be the next JJ, wear number 10. He would know that if he understood what it meant to wear the Nigeria jersey and he has enough content that can show him what it means. Someone that Pinnick was talking to those years that we had would have played for us if we went to World Cup 2022. Now he will leave, he will still go World Cup, but he will collect his 20 caps for England. He will retire, they will say you're ex-England international. But they're not going to celebrate you like Harry Kane or Kopama or Phil Foden. Saka, it took the nonsense that happened to him for them to now do this so over-caring tour for him. But let's be honest, we know say if he mess up again, I know the country I live in, Sha. So let me not talk too much. So my point is, you get this. We need to, let's win this AFCON, then we'll face Project 2030. And this is our Azamen. But I will encourage you to watch my video about Gusa because I won't lie to you, he's smarter than I expected. He knows a lot more things, and the bottlenecks of Nigeria affecting him as well. So it's interesting. Stan, you're super right. Comoros goalkeepers always step up and carry them. You see why I like being in Lagos? I was watching Super Sports. They're doing road to AFCON. If you go on Channel 4's website, Road to AFCON, they interviewed the Comoros goalkeeper from 2021, and he was talking about his tournament and how he saved his team and saved the penalty too. So I literally remember the exact same moment you're talking about based on that. You know, why Millie says Comoros goalkeeper needs to get signed up. I agree, man. And he really enjoyed watching Comoros, bro. We'll see what they do, man. We'll see what they do. I think Comoros will be feeling confident when they play Zambia and Mali based on what they showed today. So let's see how it goes as well. Emily said £10 tickets. Of course, then they flood the stadium. You see, they've priced things well for our country. If someone is more in the know, can someone explain to me why whenever we play in Uyo, the stadium is not full and there's not enough green there? Is it that we're not passionate enough as people, or the supporters club has deconvoluted? Someone that knows, please let me know in the comments here, because I'm not sure why. And it really makes me sad every time. Go and watch them, Colombia, how this country should be seeing yellow. And we have such a nice green. Look, I brought these shirts from Classic Football Shirts. They're doing a culture plan. Do you know how ready they have to celebrate our country? But I'll now be seeing pictures in Nigeria. I'll be like, what's going on, man? So someone explain to me what happens. Afriyu, that was very funny. Morocco will either win by lasers or get knocked out. Like I said, I have a feeling that's South Africa. Southie. Shout out South Africa, we shall see. Stan Khan, thank you so much. So I think I was right. Comorians. I did say Comorians, but thanks for clarifying. Ojo Eboreme is your cousin. You're serious, Samos. Guys, not to go off track, but this guy called Ojo is the best footballer I ever watched in my life with my eyes in terms of talent. And it's just a shame he was in Faith Academy and we were not promoting footballers. Or imagine if this was an American school where you go to play tournaments, then you get scholarship to go to university. This guy was an exceptional footballer. And even till today, I know that if he was in the right environment, he would have become a professional footballer. So shout out to Ojo, man. Yeah, shout out to Jojo, man. That's great. Elias said, by the way, bro, just followed you on X. I ran a similar program to you, but everything on Somali football. My brother, please follow me. In fact, let me follow you back right now. Also, guys, I don't know if you know people, but I would love to speak to someone who is an expert on Tanzanian football, on Tunisian football, and on Ugandan football for the preview episodes. I don't know anyone, you know, before, you people have made us slightly bigger than what we were before. So now we can at least try and move this thing a bit more, you know. So if you know people that would be ideal for us to talk to on these countries, it would be amazing if you let me know and I'll reach out to them so that we can talk to them about their team's prospects and how they're feeling about Tanzania. Because you know me, I've done my research about Tanzania already. But I cannot know about Tanzanian football more than a Tanzanian. It's just not going to happen. So I would love if someone can just plug me to somebody and we shall see. Ilya said, that goal, I just stood up and clapped, bro. It was fantastic, wasn't it? Unbelievable. Stan says, scoring a bicycle in front of your king in the opening match. Plus 100 aura. I'm telling you, man. Plus 100 aura for real. Sydney said, in local parlance, that goal is called Shangalo. Thank you, Shangalo. I remember Shangalo. That's what happens when you're in Faith Academy and all you do is play football every day because there's no internet or electronic is contraband. You will play football. Till today, when I watch the Premier League, the only thing I can relate to is the feeling of scoring a goal in secondary school because we take football so seriously. I'm sure you guys can relate to your own schools too now. You know, so fantastic. My space play. Thanks for always joining and commenting. He said El Kabi set up that goal. He passed to the winger and ran into the box to receive the cross, and it looks like he already decided I was going to execute the shot. Fantastic. Exactly, bro. Like I was not even Moroccan, but wow. Just fantastic. As in, H said, talk about meeting the moment. I know, right? New nickname, Pandora Box. Is that El Kabi, Abi? Elias says, as an East African, I apologize, bro. Come on, bro, don't apologize. You know, I'm sure there's reasons why the region is not as good football-wise. But you guys have all the people that dominate track and field, the Kenyans, you know, the Ugandans, the Ethiopians. When it comes to running, we know you definitely do not carry last in that one. Taiwo said, honestly, we shouldn't lose the likes of Kanichuku and Emeka. Let's do Gochuku, Honestano, and Michael Coyote. I agree. We should not be in a position where we're losing these guys. I mean, I need to see more workings from Kanye, but when you look at the way Leslie Gochuku is playing, like, Nigeria, we know small now. We know small. I don't like when they talk about us like we're small. We know small. Michael Coyote, right back spot is there for you, but you want to wait for it. That have also been waiting 12 years for the next World Cup. And they may not even make this next World Cup because, you know, the way the gods of football work. They've not got to World Cup 2014, no. So I agree with you. Honest Ahano, where is the project being put in front of this boy? You're 17 years old, you play for Atalanta. Lookman should be in his ear. In fact, that's why we need that trophy. Let's come back with that crown, man. Come back with that crown and ginger the rocks, man. 100. So we'll see how we go anyway. Stan says, how will the qualification process even work for the next AFCON? Because the host must participate. That's a great question. I even looked at it. Wait, let me try and pull it up for you, bro. All I know is all 3 countries have qualified. That one I know. And I think I read, this is the good thing about doing a live stream. You can actually like find the information as you're talking. The qualifiers are scheduled to be held between March and November 2026. So we're literally going to start AFCON qualifiers for the next AFCON from this March. Because obviously the next one is in summer of 2027. But there will be a playoff round in November 2026. There will be a total of 13 groups, each comprising 3 or 4 teams. All 13 group winners, and the 3 best runners-up will qualify directly for the 2026 African Nations Cup. So that'll be 16 people, plus Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. That's what, 19. Now, the remaining 10, because once you have 19, it means there's 5 slots left. The remaining 10 runners-up from AFCON qualifying, they will now go and face themselves in a 2-legged playoff round, which will be played in their different countries. So I hope that clarifies things. So the 3 participants are already there. There will be 13 groups. All 13 winners will join them, making 16. The 3 best runners-up will also qualify directly, making 19. Then there will be 5 slots left to make it 24. But the 10 runners-up left will then play home leg away ties to then become the final participants. So thanks for that question, because it also helps us to do the research. I'm really looking forward to it as well. And I must say, I'm really looking forward to it because when I went to Zanzibar in June, I must say, for a country that's not very good at football, I saw so many Tanzania jerseys. Like, they flooded their country with Tanzania jerseys. I even bought one. I'm not lying. So Tanzania will have 4 stadiums, Uganda 3, Kenya 3. So I think it's quite exciting. And I think this will be the first AFCON in East Africa in a long time. Somebody clarify for me when the last AFCON in East Africa was, if ever. You know, so really excited about that. So thanks for that comment, Stan, and thanks for allowing me to answer. Elias also said, Asia also announced Nations League earlier today. That's the way the world is going. We should not be left behind. Look, we're even better. Africa, we're powerful. There's 54 of us. You can say that sometimes we act like we're FIFA's little boys, but no continent has more influence on FIFA in terms of numbers because each country has a voting right. Even Comoros, every single country, no matter how big or smaller, you have a voting right, and we have 54. South America has a whole have what 10. Just to give you an idea. We are still the second most populous biggest continent in the whole world. Don't be deceived by the way they show us on that map that makes it seem like we're small. We know small, Lou. We know small. So let's see how that goes as well. Samuel Abimbola says, Kenya ladies like Nigeria. Was around the understand being very rude. It was really sad to see. So really bad. What else have we got in the comments? Taiwo says Algeria, Ethiopia should host the AFCON, especially Algeria. They built world-class stadiums and still building new ones. Good point. I'm not sure they'll give it to Ethiopia. My brother, I still maintain I think they'll give it to Morocco. But if you give it to Algeria, let's see how they get on, and that'll be good to watch. Stan says Djibouti, Eswatini, Group 4, Morocco vs Senegal, Group 1. Exactly, that's what I meant. South Africa will be a shock host 2028. I wouldn't mind. Guys, remember the last time South Africa was at AFCON? What happened? We won AFCON. So no problem. Bring us back to Durban and Johannesburg. We feel comfy over there, clearly. Even though I know sometimes they like to say like some of the best, not the best elements of society are there, but what I mean is South Africans of a certain class, or when you move away from the internet trolls, South Africans love Nigerians and vice versa, man. So I wouldn't mind going to South Africa. That'll be amazing. Why Millie says, guys, please support my cousin Ryan Alebioshu. Well, wait, he's your cousin, bro. We're pinning on our hopes on it, please, because you know how I feel about Sai Samo. But if Alebioshu can actually like deliver. Bro, please tell him that we're supporting him, man. In fact, tell him I'm coming to AFCON, man. I'd love to have a chat with him. I like your predictions as well. Stan said Mali 3, Zambia 1. I think it'll be around that 3-1 or 2-0. So let's see. I also think Ryan is probably going to end up being better on Osai. But let's give Osai his respect. He's not that bad. And I think he'll probably start on Tuesday. But we'll see what happens. Step Monic says, Mr. Olubaba, it's your boy Step Monic. Oh my God, Step Monic. I don't know what you did to Sweet Lie, man. What did you say? Last time I asked you didn't confess what you said that pissed him off. And Stan said, I feel like a shock will happen. Oh, always. There's always a shock at AFCON. Oh, you think Angola might be South Africa? I'm not going to lie to you guys. I like South Africa, man. I think they have a good team. And they don't get carried away. I think that Zimbabwe result also allowed them to realign their priorities. Like I said, Lau Foster is not the best. Where they may have a problem is who's their talisman? You need a Brahim Diaz. You need a Mahrez. You need your Mane. You need your Osimhen. You need your Salah. Who's going to drag you from the depths of shock when it's 0-0 and you need someone that can just razzle-dazzle on the pitch? And I'm sorry, Lau Foster is not that guy. Nshuti and Apolis, we know they can score here or there, but even when we watch the goals they scored against Rwanda, you have to say that Rwanda defense, at least Egypt and Angola will already be better. And we know how South Africa played against Zimbabwe in that last World Cup qualifying game. So it won't be easy for South Africa, but I think they should be feeling pretty good about themselves, especially with World Cup qualification in the bag. So that'll be interesting to see. And they're playing the opening game of the World Cup again. Can you imagine Mexico versus South Africa? So interesting. So yeah, new AFCON format. Let's see how that goes. I also agree with Emily. Angola on any given day can beat anybody. Thank you, Stan. Mabululu. That's his name. Mabululu. Lo, Wamili said Angola is like a favorite ex who got away. That's funny. Thanks, Elias, for clarifying Mabululu. So I don't know if Mabululu is in the store. He's still there. Oh, Stan said he's still there. Mabululu is still there. Actually, he's still there. Stephonic said, remember Manucho that year? How can we forget? That year that we did not make the World Cup, that we somehow we not qualify over Angola because of head-to-head. Yeah, we can't forget. I was in this Faith Academy that day. That was when I realized, we always love football, but that day, our school was so sad, man. Like you would have thought somebody passed away. I'm telling you, it was that bad. Like, it felt like a graveyard. Sorry about that, guys. Just doing live DIY. Okay. Why me said I feel like Salah didn't care about AFCON the last time. That's interesting. I think he will always care. Egypt 2, Zimbabwe 1. Yeah, it may not be as they may not be as much of a beatdown as I'm thinking. 2-1. I think Zimbabwe will be annoying as well, and they play really well. Look how they did to Nigeria. It's so sad because every time I think about that AFCON mistake, we should have gone to AFCON, man. I mean, we should be going to the World Cup, but it's all right. Let's see about the Egypt guys. At Enetamuno says, I beg, was the opening game televised in Nigeria? It's the what station? I know it's on Super Sports. I watched it on Super Sports. I don't know about the other ones, but I'll be very surprised if not on NTA. It's still like a very important channel. At Timothy Shalamar said, I feel sorry for Okoye, man. Very sad for him, man. Stan said the same thing. Timothy says the same thing. He says Okoye is our best goalkeeper. Okoye is our best goalkeeper. But he said Uche is cooking. The live stream was nice. Thanks for that, Stan. I appreciate all the comments. H, thanks for saying this is a good format. I don't want it to be this long, but us ramblers, it happens. But tomorrow we'll cover the next 3 games, of course. I appreciate it with everybody. Why Millie said Uche has a lot of cooking to do. You're right. He has a lot of cooking to do. Timothy, I think I already answered you about 30 December. Yeah, of course. Step Monique says, yes, so you did very well in that video. Thank you guys so much. Timothy said, thank you by the end of AFCON for sure. It's all you guys, man. But me, I will do my best on my end to meet you guys. So if we have to sort the internet, pay for billing, Nigeria, the internet is quite interesting. I even have to go to MTN and disturb them tomorrow because they saw me something that's not working. But I appreciate everybody. My Space Place says, we love what we love and we are not ashamed. Super Eagles for life. Yes, so Super Eagles for life. Always. I don't care what's happening. Some of us will be there in the good, bad, and whatever. We're going to make the rest of the country fall back in love with the Super Eagles and build that emotional connection back. Do you see the Senegal team in their training? Oh my God, I almost got goosebumps. But Nigeria were capable of that, so let's see as well. H raised a good point. When it comes to game week 1, nothing matters more than winning. Getting 3 points gives you the perfect platform to come out from the group. Simple. In fact, I don't even want us to do what we did in last AFCON. We drew with Equatorial Guinea. Please, Nigeria is Tanzania. We don't want to hear stories. Watch out for the preview, by the way. It's going to drop tomorrow. We don't want to hear stories, Nigeria. Look out for that preview episode. I know you guys always support. I appreciate it so much. I've done all the research. It's there. I just need to open my mouth and talk. So look out for that video very, very soon. Our Prof Data says, good talk, good show. Thank you so much, guys. See you next time tomorrow. Timothy said, the passport is just legal documents when Nigerians first. Exactly, always. That's why I don't like when people try to make it like a diaspora versus. Bro, people love Nigeria, man. Do you know how desperate people are to see the country shine? Do you know the kind of, in fact, different impact that the national team of Nigeria has on these are foreign-born players? I think if some of you knew, man, you'll be less harsh about the criticism. It's a thing of pride. Serious pride, I'm telling you. So thanks so much for that comment. Timothy also said, oh shit, I went to Covenant. Shout out Covenant, man. A lot of the guys from Faith Academy went there. You probably know a few similar people, to be honest. Elias said, keep it going. It's like me when I first started covering Somali players in Insta and X. The views were trashed at first, but we kept going and it grew. Thank you so much. Exactly, look. We've got something, and it's all because of you guys listening. So that's amazing. MySpace said, indeed, at the crime scene of mistakes. It's true now. He's always there. He's always there. So we need things to change, man. Kelvin said, please, football left indeed. I think that's harsh. I thought he played well against Congo now. Let's see, Sha. Timothy said, Osimhen Lukman and Chukwueze had a great AFCON. It's simple. Look, we have the best front 3 in AFCON. I don't care about Nicholas Jackson, Mandia, Ismail Assar. 2 of our front 3 were back by AFCON Footballer of the Year in the past 3 years. I don't hear that. So how can we harness our attack and ginger these people? All I know is if those 3 players come to play you on a given day, it's going to be a challenging day for your defense, no matter how you are. I promise you. So let's see how it goes, man, and we keep it moving, and we go from there. Timothy, I could play ball, I should have been in better shape, but, we always love playing football. Taiwo Kunade, I love your comment. There should be a sports museum or football museum in Nigeria. Despite our successes over the past years, we don't know why we don't tap from sports. I don't know why. Go and look at the exhibitions we're all going to this day to December about arts, crafts, music. In fact, there's this exhibition at the Tate Modern in England. If anyone listening to this lives in England, go and watch this. Go to the Tate Modern and go and check out the Nigerian Modernism exhibition. If you see where they're platinum our art, but yet our football with all the great things we've done, where is the stadium? Where is the museum for us to see Henry Wosu's picture and a clip of the 1980 final where Odegbami is scoring the winning goal? Where is it? Where is the history? Then we now complain that these people are not patriotic. But how do they know? Go and check England. There's footage from everything. So I totally agree with you. Like, we need to tap into this, man. We need to tap into this. Timothy said the Uyo games are free, but people are hungry. So it's free and it's still not full. We have to do something, man. We have to do something. Joshua Ogu says, Olu, how far? I have someone for you. Please, bro, just message me. Whether it's on any of the social media channels or the Gmail, nigeriafootballweekly@gmail.com. Please message me. We'll do that. Charles says, nobody loves Super Eagles again. We must bring back the love. We must never, ever lose hope of the thing that gives us joy and pride in our country. That's the one thing I'm trying to fight by doing this podcast. We must never, ever get to the point where we're apathetic to our national team. We see it in our politics where people just accept that it's just the way things are. But who does that help? We must get things right one day. And I promise you guys we will by God's grace in Jesus' name. Amen. We need to save our football from Azarmen. You're right, Charles. You know, please watch the video about Gusau and let's see what happens. Elias said the format is good. Thank you for you, for sure. Somalia last 2 AFCON qualifiers. We couldn't get past the preliminary round because exactly. So if you're playing teams that are your level, you improve and improve and improve. The Black Panther is the greatest movie, says Tanzania's strength is speed. They will be threatening on the counter and force errors in the defense. Uganda, on the other hand, I don't know. Thanks so much for that comment. I was looking at Tanzania's recent results. They're not the best scorers. They lose a lot of games 1-0 or 2-0, and they tend not to score more than 1 goal in any match. But it's interesting to know about the speed. One thing I will counteract with, though, is if it's speed, Nigeria gets speed. So we just see what they can use. The way the Congolese were able to bully us physically was because of how tired our players were. So I'm hoping that from a physical conditioning perspective, we're spot on. And we know that facilities-wise that we're not to complain about in Morocco. So I really hope that will be the way it would go and we'll be fine. So let's see how it goes. Elias also said, the Tanzanians love football. Majority of their players play in local league for Simba. I know about Simba FC, you're right about that. Azam or Young Africans. They do relatively well in the interclub tournaments in Africa. You're right, that's why I know about Simba. And you could tell that the country are very patriotic to the national team despite the lack of AFCON appearances. Like, when you look at the heritage of some countries, that's when you realize how greedy we are as Nigerians and how we take our national team for granted. I think this is going to be like Tanzania's like 4th AFCON or something like that. They've never ever made it past group stage. And us, we have 16 medals from 20 AFCON. Of course, to whom much is given, much is expected. I get it. But sometimes when you look at like how we like bash our national team, some other countries, then they suffer. they would bite their arms off to have a team like the Super Eagles. That's all I'm trying to say. You've seen the Nike adverts, seen the Nike activations. It's only because it's Nigeria. Now, big country we be. Don't let anybody deceive you because we no go World Cup. We're big name. Industry machine in football, Nigeria. So we'll see how it goes. Oh, thanks for that comment, Oscar and Joko. I didn't realize Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda hosted last chance. Actually, I should have known that because when I went to Zanzibar, there was talk about the local chan, but I just completely forgot. So that'll be interesting. Although I won't like, these countries are large, man. Travel is going to be interesting, especially if you live abroad, because going from London to Morocco is a lot cheaper than going from Lagos to Morocco. And then to now go all the way to East. Even our London flights to Tanzania. But God will provide. We'll cross that bridge. Let's enjoy up now, right now. So Deke says, I'm watching from Ivory Coast. Wow. Shout out to you, my friend. Shout out to you, my friend. That's amazing. Oscar says, Kelvin says, we need young players in the midfield. We do. Well, we've got a few coming. We've got King Somero coming. Tochiko Nandi is a much better player than I initially gave him credit for. Anthony Dennis was not caught up. David Moses was not caught up, but they're both playing well and they're pretty young. Check out my prediction of our 2030 talent pool. I think young midfielders is a place we do not struggle with. We do struggle with creative midfielders. We need creativity. But in terms of box to box, defensive mids being solid, I won't lie to you, Nigeria will cover for the next 10 years. Just call it like that. Like we're good. That's the honest truth. So we'll see how we get on in that situation and how we go. Timothy says, Olu pitched the exhibition idea to NFF. My brother, the problem is getting to the right ears of the NFF, man. Like, when you even hear about the way Gusau became president, we all know that, you know, things happened. But I just wish one day Nigeria could become like England, where they trust that everybody could have an opinion as long as they're saying something wise. You know, when I started my career, my boss would not say, oh, look, because you're 24, I'm not listening to you. No. But all these as a men at a certain age, you know, and we know the way Nigeria is about respect. You must respect your elders. No, we want to keep respecting our elders, but if you have people that are not even listening, it's not good enough. But watch the Gusau interview, because there are even some things that he's doing that I didn't even expect he was doing. You know, talking to IMG Group, the company that produces the Premier League productions up until next year, you know, in terms of trying to get the right broadcast deals for Nigeria. But the problem is all our stadiums have terrible broadcasting facilities. So these are things that Gusau was talking about. But there's also another one where he was just telling us a story. He tried to tell us that the reason why they put one stadium in Mamaju Phoenix Village is because FIFA's mandate is that there should be a stadium everywhere in the world that there's football accessible. But you will not use your common sense and say, okay, let's put the stadiums in a place where there's more densely populated Nigerians. You now carry it to a village that takes 3 hours by boat to get to because it's Mamaju Phoenix people. I thought that was an unacceptable statement from him. But at the end of the day, it's clear that Pinnick put him there. So we're not surprised. But he made some good points about how he needs to work with the state governors to get some things moving and pushing in Nigerian football. So go check out if you'd like. I'll really appreciate that. Timothy says, same, Defo start at Kisomero. Let's see how he gets on, you know. Let's see how he gets on. Stan also says something similar. Should be given a nod to start. I'll be honest, he's been playing so well. Elias said it's Tanzania's fourth appearance. Yes, I'm aware. I have my notes about it because I know when Nigeria won AFCON in 1980 for the first time, our first game was against Tanzania. We beat them 3-1 in Surulere. So interesting. Samuel said my twin brother's name. Wow. You know us well. Yes, that is correct, my brother. Kelvin said we need strong players like Akisomero. That's why we're cooked by DRC. Didi and Iwobi were tired. I understand your comments, but remember they played 120 minutes already. But I like the fact that Akisomero is tournament. If you watch the channel, you see that we've always been talking about Akisomero all the time and the need for him to be looked after in the national team and brought in. So let's see. Elias also mentioned the same problem. Kevin says, I don't know how Yedika never starts for us. I don't know what is Eric Shell's problem, but he's the manager. He will live and die by his sword. It's okay. So yeah, that's it for the comments, guys. I know it's ended up being a 2-hour stream, even though I said it'll be 10 minutes, then I'll give everybody a chance to speak. If there's any indications, does anybody still want to quickly come on and give their opinion on the game today, the Super Eagles, how you're feeling about the tournament? Let's say today we'll take one more caller and then I would start making sure I don't over ramble. You can see the link in the chat. I'll give it 2 minutes if anybody wants to come and just give their opinion. Guys, I didn't get even one super chat. I'm so sad about that. But we don't do this for the money. We do this for the love. It's okay. But I hope when Nigeria plays, when there's joy in your hearts and everyone's feeling good, we'll get a bit more support there. But, you know, not even one. Maybe I'll give myself a super chat. Yeah, let me give myself a super chat. Well done, Olu. Keep it up. You have to spend money to make money. What? See assignments. Add credit card. Anyway, guys, I'll give it another 1 minute. Is anybody gonna join and just quickly give their thoughts? I hope you've liked the video as well, if you've not yet liked the video. Also, like I said, always amazing to hear your thoughts and opinions on this format. I'll try to make sure it's not as long because, like someone said, we'll be dirty Decembering a little bit. So, no overdo. But we must bring you this content. We care about our national team, and it's very important that we come and we bring this information to you guys hot. So, I'll give it one more minute. Don't worry, we go again tomorrow. Anybody could be shy. It's okay. It's nice to be on camera. Final 1 minute. The link is not working. Oh, bless you. It's not working. Are you sure? That's a shame. I apologize if that's the case and it's not working. All right, Stan. I think Stan's going to step up for a minute. Up Super Eagles, my bro. But anyway, as we round up, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Of course, the last minute one, and we're talking about Morocco. Tomorrow we'll have 3 games for your listening pleasure, of course. And then, of course, look out for the preview episode, Super Eagles. Remember, we'll do our usual live watch-alongs. I think that's one of the best ones where you guys support when we do live watch-alongs for the Super Eagles. I cannot promise I'll have an Odumodu every time. But you guys showed me when we watched the DR Congo game and the Gabon game that it is the strength of the community that matters the most, not necessarily celebrity names, even though it helps, and it helps to give credibility to what we do. So big yourselves up. I thank every single person, and I really, really appreciate all the support. Stan, any luck? Thanks so much, Elias. And also, I'll try to do this immediately after the games. So, like tomorrow, immediately after Egypt and Zimbabwe, which is a 9 p.m. kickoff. So it'll be done at 11 p.m. Nigeria. So 10 p.m. UK time. We'll jump on it. Now I've tested the concept. Maybe we'll keep it for like 10 minutes. Oh yeah, Timothy, I'm so sorry, man. That Congo game, I was so sad. And to be honest, my partner drove from somewhere and I needed to drive her home. So with my sadness, I was just like, man, I'm so sad. So I just drove her away and my brother was giving the final updates on the channel. I was so sad, man. But don't worry, this is why we love football, man. You have to take the good with the bad. We always go again and we'll figure it out. No worries, Stan, it's okay. I don't even need the app to join. Maybe I'll change from Riverside, but it works quite well. But anyway, guys, let's end the stream. It's been 2 hours. I want you guys to go to bed. Let's go and prepare for our next games. Let me record the preview episode for Tanzania as well. So anyone who knows any Tanzanian journalists that could be on it, let me know. Please message me in the chats. And look out for that preview episode as usual. It's going to be a banger as usual. I'm going to record it now, so no vex if you see the same shirts. Yeah? So let me record that for your listening pleasure, and it will drop tomorrow for sure. Live stream watch along Nigeria versus Tanzania on Tuesday. Well, that is going to be a 6:30 p.m. kickoff Nigeria time, so 5:30 p.m. in the UK. For the Nigeria game, even though there's Tunisia versus Uganda, immediately after Nigeria's match, we'll do the interactive show. Although Arsenal is playing, and then Tunisia is playing Uganda. Maybe we'll watch the Uganda game. We'll see. Because I want to see the best way to remain, for us to keep doing hot takes when Nigeria is playing. Maybe we'll do hot takes through the comments. But please, I'm open to any and every feedback. I appreciate this community so much. For the last time, if you're still watching, 113 of you, you've not yet liked, please like the video. Let me know your feedback as always. I'm very keen to hear it. I think everybody keeps it respectful and lovely, which is why I appreciate this community. And I just want to say a big thank to everybody. We go again tomorrow. Remember, enjoy all the football. Thank you guys so much for all the support. And I hope that you're all enjoying the fact that AFCON has started. And it's always an exciting and pleasurable time to watch the best of the continent play against each other. Shout out to Morocco for the win today. Fantastic performance. Shout out to the Comoros goalkeeper, Pando, for making a name for himself in 2 hours. Shout out to Brahim Diaz for taking the country on his back and scoring the opening goal. Superstars deserve superstar achievement. We look forward to tomorrow and see what Mohamed Salah could do, to what the South Africans could do, and what the Malians could do at the other teams. Until next time, I'm your host, Olu. Thanks for that, LQ Talks. Okay, I will go and have a look on him and research that on the Tanzanian YouTuber. But I want to say a big thank to all you guys, more appreciate to Eshego, Love it to be in Lagos as always. As I said, first AFCON watching on the continent in maybe almost 18 years, which is always a lovely feeling. I'll see you on tomorrow's episode of the live stream. But I know you guys got me. Nigeria, Tanzania preview coming in hot. I'll see you on the next episode, guys. And see you on the next episode. You can look at him for the video. Yeah. I'll try and see what I can do, Stan, although I want to record now. So maybe we'll get him for the review. Hopefully, let's say we beat them 4-0. Take care, guys. Ciao, ciao. Have a good night. Have a good evening wherever you are. And I want to say a big thank you to everybody. Thank you. Peace out. And have a wonderful evening, guys.